You got it. Hey, everybody. Today we're debating whether or not Christian ethics are best, and we're starting right now with Andrew. Thank you very much for being with us. Andrew is on the right side of the screen defending the Christian position. The floor is all yours, Andrew.
Thank you. Let me begin by extending my genuine respect to my opponent.
Oh, one sec. Pardon my...
I've watched...
Never mind. Now your camera's good. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah, it cuts off by itself sometimes. I don't know why it's doing that.
Sometimes it's
just random.
Sometimes it just gives for a second there, unless I'm seeing things, it put this like translucent film over your camera where it was like hard to see you. One thing we're gonna, yep, that one right there.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. It's very strange. It's not on my end, I don't think.
The wonders of modern technology.
Well, it definitely comes through on this side, and we definitely...
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it is. We, let me just... We're going to go backstage to try to figure out why it does that. Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment. Hey, everybody. Tonight we're debating whether or not Christian ethics are best, and we are starting right now with Andrew's opening statement. Thanks so much for being with us. Andrew, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. Let me begin by extending my genuine respect to my opponent.
It's okay. It's doing it again. So
is it when you're changing angles?
Nope. I'm definitely not doing anything different on my side.
It's coming up on my side as well. That his camera
let's just
like
1 second and go backstage one more time. Hey, everybody. Tonight we are debating whether or not Christian ethics are best, and we are starting right now with Andrew's opening statement. Thanks so much for being with us. Andrew, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Let me begin by extending my genuine respect to my opponent. I've watched some of his past debates, and I must commend him on his willingness to engage in these deep, difficult topics. His presence here proves he's serious about ideas that matter, and I welcome that. Now let's get to the heart of tonight's debate. Is Christian ethics the best ethical system? I'm here before you not only to affirm that it is, but to demonstrate that without Christian ethics, the very moral framework we take for granted in the modern world would not exist. Christian ethics is the moral engine of the modern world. Christian ethics is rooted in the teachings of Jesus Christ and the moral tradition of Scripture. Principles like the intrinsic value of every human life, love your neighbor as yourself, justice with mercy, truth with compassion, and power used in service, not domination. The call to care for the poor, the weak, the sick, the stranger, the radical idea of forgiveness, grace, and moral accountability. These aren't abstract ideals, they've built civilizations. Western civilization was built on Christian ethics. The very foundation of the first world, the developed West, rests on the ethical bedrock of Christianity. Our understanding of human rights came directly from the Christian belief that all people bear God's image and therefore possess dignity. The abolition of slavery, the civil rights movement, universal education, and health care for the poor all flowed out of Christian moral convictions. Legal systems in Europe and North America were shaped by biblical moral codes like the Ten Commandments and grounded in the Christian idea of justice with restraint and mercy. In fact, when you strip Christian ethics from civilization, you don't get progress, you get a moral vacuum that has historically led to systems like communism and fascism, where man becomes the measure of all things and the strong dominate the weak. Christianity in the Nordic countries. Let's look at the Nordic nations, often presented as secular success stories. Yet historically, they were deeply shaped by Christian moral values. Christianity brought literacy, law, and institutions to Scandinavia, not just faith. The Nordic welfare state model, praised for its fairness and compassion, echoes Christian ideas like caring for the vulnerable, valuing everyday life, and balancing justice with mercy. Valuing every life, and balancing justice with mercy. Even today, Nordic cultures retain moral assumptions that are Christian in origin, even if not in name. They didn't invent these values, they inherited them from 1,000 years of Christian influence. The philosophical grounding. Where do ethics come from? I anticipate that tonight we'll hear talk of morality without religion, maybe a defense of humanistic ethics or subjective moral preference. But I'd ask my opponent directly the same question that has haunted many secular thinkers before him. Where do morals come from, if not from a transcendent source? He may appeal to evolution, consensus, or well-being, but these are descriptive, not prescriptive. They tell us what is, not what ought to be. Christian ethics gives us a foundation that's objective, coherent, and moral. Right and wrong are real, not relative, because they reflect the nature of a just and good God. Also, we can see what happens when societies stray, or worse, invert these Christian ethical foundations today. In the United States, we see a clear divide. Conservatives, broadly speaking, aim to conserve Christian ethics, values like family structure, personal responsibility, and the sanctity of life. In contrast, much of the modern left pushes policies and ideologies that actively oppose these values. Some examples: feminism that incentivizes fatherless homes and celebrates independence from family structure, even when it hurts children. Transgender ideology that denies the creative nature of male and female. Abortion, not as a tragic exception, but as a celebrated right. The inversion of thou shalt not kill. I simply observe the consequences. I look outside my own suburban neighborhood, a community that leads conservative. I see beautiful homes, stable families, trim lawns, kids playing outside. And then I go to an area dominated by leftist policies for decades, say parts of New York City. I used to love this place as a kid, and now I have to carry my dog through the street because there's needles and garbage all over the floor. So you tell me which ethical system is working. And I'll add one more challenge to my opponent. since he no doubt lives in the Western world, a world built on the moral structure of Christian ethics, he will need to show us a better civilization shaped by some other ethical system, not just in theory, but in practice. Where is this better place? Why doesn't he live there? Because if, like most of us, he has chosen to live within the safety, prosperity, and moral assumptions of Christian civilization, then by his lifestyle, not just by his words, he already concedes the debate. He lives in the fruit of the very system he'll likely try to tear down. In summary, Christian ethics is not just a good system, it's the best ethical system. It's principled, not preference-based. It's consistent, not shifting with culture. It's compassionate, valuing every human life. And it has proven itself across centuries in Western civilization, in Nordic countries, and in the moral advances of the modern world. So tonight, I don't just ask you to evaluate Christian ethics in theory. I'd ask you to consider its fruit in history, in law, in culture, and in the consequence of the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that opening. And folks, I want to say if it's your first time here at Modern Day Debate, I'm your host, Dr. James Coons. We host debates on science, religion, and politics. We are thrilled to have you here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as we have many debates coming up. Not only that, if you didn't know, if you've been living in a cave on Mars with your fingers in your ears, DebateCon 6 tickets have just launched. They're at the top of the description box and pinned at the top of the live chat right now. If you didn't know what DebateCon is, that's Modern Day Debate's annual conference where we have 2 full days of debates. This one is going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, Saturday, November 15th and Sunday, November 16th. The tickets are linked below. Early bird tickets that are discounted are only here for a limited time. They're going away soon. Grab your tickets now. That way you know you got the best deal you could. You don't want to miss it. Craig, for example, is going to be there, a.k.a. Fight the Flat Earth, for another amazing debate. I don't know if you guys remember last time at DebateCon, the biggest debate featured Craig and Andrew Wilson. The room was packed, and that debate it's approaching 250,000 views. So, folks, I got to tell you, you don't want to miss out. Craig's going to be there again. Andrew Wilson, as well as the other people that you see right here, bottom right of your screen. AP, Andrew Wilson, Daniel Hakikachu, and Dr. Richard Carrier. They're all going to be there and many more. Check out that link below. With that, thank you very much. Craig, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, James. Yes, and I am very excited about coming back to DebateCon. Right, tonight my opponent has an unfortunate task of proving that Christian ethics are the best. Now, before we even get started, I want to make something very clear. He's going to have to define best a lot, because when you claim your system is the best, that means that nothing else is better. Not utilitarianism, not humanism, not even the ethics of the Federation from Star Trek, where they eliminated scarcity and created a utopia without war, hunger, or poverty. If I can point to anything, literally anything, that does even one thing better than Christianity, then my opponent's claim completely collapses. So let's have a little look for cracks in the armor. Slavery. Well, Christianity regulates it, never really condemns it. Exodus, Leviticus, Paul, all fine with it. Alternative? Well, humanism. Slavery is maximum suffering. And if your ethics allow owning people, they're not the best. They're broken. And, you know, there is lots of historical records of slavery being based on what the Bible said. Women's rights. Women told to shut up, submit, and never lead. What's an alternative to that? Well, virtue ethics. Justice and wisdom apply equally to everyone. Best ethics don't put half the population in permanent timeout. LGBTQ plus rights. Christianity still calls it sinful. The alternative? Well, utilitarian ethics, because love increases happiness and harms nobody. So if your system says that love is wrong, then your system is wrong and not the best. Obedience as morality. Whatever God says is good. Even genocide or child sacrifice? Well, yeah, great. The alternative? Well, Keynesian ethics. Morality is rational, not obedience training. And if God said kick puppies, then Christian ethics says it's moral. That's not ethics, that's puppy abuse. Violence in God's name, the Crusades, Inquisitions, witch hunts. What alternative to that? Well, Buddhist compassion ethics. The best ethics shouldn't need a body count to prove their point. Medical ethics, opposed vaccines, and anesthesia, contraception, abortion. Brilliant job, Christianity. What's the alternative to that? Well, evidence-based ethics. Reduce harm, save lives. So if your ethics says no to penicillin, they're not the best, they're deadly. Eternal punishment, infinite hell for finite mistakes. The alternative, restorative justice, proportionality and rehabilitation. Burn forever for eating shellfish. That's not justice, that's cosmic overreaction and pettiness. Golden rule, claimed as unique, but Confucius, Buddha, and Stoics had it first. Alternative, universal ethics. Christianity borrowed the golden rule, then claimed copyright. That's not best, that's plagiarism. Child punishment, spare the rod, spoil the child. Alternative, well, psychology and positive reinforcement. Best ethics don't involve hitting toddlers with sticks. Animal cruelty, the Bible gives humans dominion, ignores animal suffering. What's the alternative to that? Utilitarianism. Pain matters, no matter the species. Apparently, the best ethics forgot every creature that isn't human. Divorce, well, Jesus condemns it, trapping women in abusive marriages. What's the alternative? Humanist ethics. If your ethics lock women with abusers, then they're not the best ethics, they're barbaric. Truth versus faith. Faith equals belief without evidence. What's the alternative to that? Well, just rational ethics. Because believing without evidence isn't ethical strength, it's simply gullibility. Inconsistency across denominations. There are 40,000 plus sects that can't even agree on your own set of Christian ethics. Well, what's the alternative to that? Universal principles of reason and compassion. Because if Christian ethics were really the best, Christians wouldn't need 40,000 different versions of them. So my opponent tonight will need to do more than just say Christianity has some nice ideas, because it also has slavery, misogyny, homophobia, blind obedience, and genocide baked in. If I can point to any alternative that does better in any of these cases, and I've just given you 13, then Christianity is not the best. And if he still insists it is, I've got one last example. The Federation, with its replicators, warp drives, and universal equality. Compared to that, Christianity looks about as modern and useful as Windows XP. Buggy, outdated, and no longer supported. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for that opening. Folks, let me know if my audio is doing all right. I do want to make sure that it's about the same level. So one thing I want to mention as well, folks, if you're near Nashville, because you're like, wow, I was like, James, where is DebateCon? I don't know if I emphasize enough. It is in Nashville, Tennessee. You don't want to miss it, folks. I'm just tweaking my audio here. 2 seconds. Do want you to, please, folks, check out. There we go. I think this should do the trick now. So let me know, folks, is that getting better as I speak? Let me know. My gain is up quite high. So let me know if it's at least, is it like strikingly different from our speakers? I'm checking
Your
in.
Your dulcet tones sound wonderful to me, James.
Thank you. I think that for some reason it's when it goes through OBS, it sometimes gets weak, but I just cranked up the gain. So I think, thanks for your feedback, folks. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have the open dialogue, but as I mentioned, DebateCon 6 in Nashville, Tennessee, as you see at the bottom right poster on screen and linked in the description box below. Get those early bird tickets while you can. Thank you very much, gentlemen. The floor is all yours.
Hey, I really appreciate you coming to talk to me. This is your first live debate. Is that right? Sorry, Andrew, yes?
That is correct, sir. And I appreciate you taking it. Thank you.
No worries. So to say that Christian ethics is the best is a bit kind of self-defeating, because there's so many different versions of Christian ethics that completely disagree with each other. So which version of Christian ethics are you particularly defending? Or as the title of the debate says, are you just going with Christian ethics, which would include things like Mormons and the sect in Ethiopia that go with, the books that the rest of the people say aren't included in the Bible? So, Christian as in all of it, or do you have a particular flavor that you like?
It kind of seems to me it's similar to what you see that's happening. I don't know, where do you live, Craig?
I live in Scotland.
You live in Scotland. Okay, so you live in a modern Western nation yourself, right?
I'd say so, yeah.
Christian nation?
It certainly not, no.
Historically, Scotland?
Historically, more Celtic, and Since the
Christian
advent of
influence.
Christianity, there was a religion before Christianity here. There was many religions before Christianity arrived in Scotland. And Christianity borrowed a lot of the things from all those previous religions. All of the things that you pointed out in your opening, every single one of them are not unique to Christianity. And I do hope that you realize that.
Okay, so Scotland, very close to your neighbor England, correct?
Yes, definitely very close. We share land.
Do you see what happens, especially today in England, as the population is being replaced with other theological religious peoples? Do you see the difference in what you see in England based on what you used to see in the past? That there is a difference.
No, the UK has always been a hodgepodge of multiculturalism. As long as I have lived in the UK, there has been many different religions. I grew up in an area that had mosques, it had Buddhist temples, it had many different churches. As someone that lives in the UK, I can tell you 100% that the UK has always been a place of multiculturalism, and that is not anything new. Sometimes there's more of it, sometimes there's less of it. Certain areas become more populated by other religions like Islam, that then that area becomes more like Islam, but that's just how it goes. But UK is multiculturalism, so no, there hasn't been a difference in the UK now as to how it was before. In fact, if anything, it's a lot safer for people like me nowadays.
For people like you, what about young girls in these Islamic communities? Are you familiar with any of the stats of what's happening?
Islamic communities exist all over the world.
I'm talking about
your
neighbor.
My neighbor. Islamic communities exist all over the world, as well as in the United States of America. But I'm not here defending Islam. So I don't know why you're bringing up. Talking about Islam is completely irrelevant to anything that I have said.
I'm not talking about Islam. I'm asking if you can see cultural difference with the way that Christian ethics are implemented in a society.
Christian ethics were never a part of, to be fair, Christian ethics were never anything that guided my life in the United Kingdom at all.
Maybe not you personally. However, the King of England is the head of the Church of England, right?
Yes, because England has a church and the king is the head of it. Yes, but that doesn't mean that everyone in England is Christian.
Of course, that nobody made that claim. That's a straw man of my claim. Nobody said that.
And because the king is Christian, that has zero relevance to Christian ethics being the best. To say that Christian ethics is the best, then it has to be perfect in every way, shape, or form.
It's the best system that we've ever seen, being that it's produced the best results. That's why
I would disagree. Christianity is based on many other things. It's not an original thing. Christianity is just plagiarism. So there is no such thing as Christian ethics, because Christian ethics was taken from other things. You made all this point about how you live based on Christian ethics without even realizing it, but Christian ethics are based on things that they stole their ethics from before Christianity was a thing. So,
but those systems are not the ones that built Western civilization. Christian systems did. That's my point.
Christian systems didn't build Western civilization. They held it back for several centuries. What built Western civilization was the advent of science, when people started going against what the church said. There was the thing called the Dark Ages, because Christian ethics banned researching science. People said that the earth wasn't flat and got crucified and stuff for it. People said that gravity was real, and the church tried to go against them. Christian ethics held back the development of Western civilization. It wasn't Christian ethics that built Western civilization. It was the advancement of science and engineering.
It was the advancement of science and engineering that built Western civilization.
Absolutely, 100%.
So all the Christian references in the United States of America through the founding fathers, it had nothing to do with building.
Let me ask you a question. Is the United States of America a Christian nation?
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Actually, the founding fathers said that there is you have religious freedom. There is no specific. Hold on. let me make this very, very clear, because you were very wrong about what you just said. The United States of America is not a Christian nation according to the founding fathers. Religious freedom exists, which means that there is no preference for any particular religion. Religion and God and things like that were added to the words and everything later on. So no, the USA is not a Christian nation. That is absolutely 100% incorrect. And I cannot believe you as an American actually just said that.
Okay, so let's start with this. What is an American?
Did you really want to go down the route of what is an American?
Yeah.
Because that's a really stupid question. What is a United States American citizen? Is somebody that lives within the United States of America. What is an American? That is anybody that lives in either of the American continents. What a dumb question. Everybody here knows what an American is. Stop running away from the fact that you just said something completely and utterly incorrect about the country that you live in and the way that it was founded.
Okay, but that none of what you're saying is correct. You can stonewall and say things.
I'm sorry. You just said nothing that I said is correct. Let me just ask you one simple question.
Have any American money
did the founding fathers include religious freedom?
I do want to jump in just because I just want to be sure that we're on track. Just big picture wise, I think some people in the audience are kind of wondering. They're like, wait, or in terms of whether or not Christianity has the best ethical framework. I do just want to redirect us, as I think we're getting a little bit in the weeds. If we can steer it back in that direction.
I agree. Right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to right now create a brand new system of ethics that is way better than Christianity, which destroys your claim. It's called CARE, which stands for consent, agency, reduction of suffering, and evidence. And here's the axioms, non-negotiables. Consent and agency. Persons are ends, not tools. No coercion. Informed consent. Whatever decisions touch a person's body, time, or property. Harm principle. First duty is to reduce suffering and prevent foreseeable harm. Fairness and equal worth. No arbitrary hierarchies like sex, orientation, caste, etc. Truth and transparency. Honesty is a moral requirement. And falsifiability, which means that there is an inbuilt correction system. That destroys anything that ever could be based on Christianity, because that allows for everybody to thrive under every possible circumstance, and for the only important thing to be the care and lack of suffering of humanity. That you don't need anything about Christianity or religion or anything. Everything there could make humanity better than it ever is. And it self-corrects when there is things that are wrong. That's what falsifiability is about, okay? Moral rules are a testable hypothesis. There we go. I've just destroyed your claim that Christian ethics are best by coming up with a new one that beats Christian ethics.
The problem with systems like this, like you're describing, is they never are able to reproduce themselves, as we see over and over.
Could you give me an example of that, please?
Yeah, even I'm sure your favorite example, Scandinavian countries.
I'm sorry, Scandinavia is not CARE. I've just come up with a brand new system of ethics, not anything that's ever existed before. So you were wrong there when you said like other ones, because this isn't like other ones. Hold on, no, I need to make sure you understand my argument, because you've just compared what I came up with, CARE, to humanism. They are not the same thing. So no, Scandinavia is not an example that beats that, because Scandinavia does not have the CARE ethics. For you to now say that Christianity is the best form of ethics, you have to beat the system that I have just created that is better than Christianity in every single way.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Because if you don't, then it's not best.
It's my turn. Okay, stop talking. That would be like...
no, don't tell me to stop talking. It has to be better.
We do have to give Dragonfist a chance to talk too. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. But he doesn't get to tell me to stop talking.
Okay, you're not Dragonfist. I meant the other Dragonfist.
Thank you, sir. See, what you're saying would be likened to if I was the greatest, if we had the greatest businessman that ever lived, monetarily. We knew, but for a fact, that this person was the most successful businessman that ever lived. And you came in with a business idea that's never been implemented and saying that that is a better example than the one that's been proven. This is not a logical argument. It makes actually no sense what you're trying to say.
I disagree. 100%. It is
That's to show something that's
objectively
practical.
better. It is an objectively better system of ethics than Christianity.
It doesn't
Whether
work.
it has been
It
implemented,
won't.
how do you know it doesn't work? Because it is, you don't know that it
Because
exists.
no secular society is
It's
ever
not
able to
secular.
reproduce.
Stop saying it's secular. I have not come up with a secular system of ethics. Once again, it is care, which stands
Is
for
God
consent,
involved in it?
agency, reduction of suffering,
Okay.
and evidence. It
Is
is
God
not
involved
secular.
in it?
It is new.
Is God involved in it?
Well, no, because God's not
So
real,
it's
and I wouldn't
secular
involve
by
something not
definition,
real.
right? So what
No,
you just said is stupid.
it's not secular.
by
It's
definition.
not a
right?
secular
Secular
system.
means
It's an
God is not
entirely new.
involved, right?
Hold on,
All
I'm
right,
getting cramp in my
gentlemen.
leg. 1 second.
I do have
1
to
second.
just reset us just to be sure that we're on the same page. It looks like Craig's just adjusting something. Is
Sorry, I'm getting cramp in my leg.
Oh, no worries.
It was leg day today, and it's hitting. I
we
apologize.
we may go to 1 or 2 minute segments just to keep it from going too off the rails. However, I'm willing to keep going on the open dialogue.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a heads
So,
up, though,
yeah.
guys, that I have to put us into 1 or 2 minute little speeches if it's not a little bit more orderly.
Okay. So to be clear, secular doesn't mean not God. It means not religious.
Correct.
So they're not the same thing, to be clear. So we don't need religion, which means we don't need a set of rules that are unchanging and binding and
Actually,
are
we
never
do. Otherwise,
malleable
who
and are
decides
never
when they change?
I'm so
Same
sorry
thing.
that the middle of my sentence interrupted the beginning of yours there. That's terrible of me. I'm really sorry.
Continue. I apologize.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I'm not talking about God. It's irrelevant to this conversation. I have simply come up with a system of ethics that hasn't been used before, isn't something that is around, and is objectively better than Christianity because the main point is it allows for self-correction based on evidence that exists. For you to say that Christianity is objectively the best, you have to not only say that it is better than any system that already exists, but any system that could possibly ever exist.
No. I'm going based on results, right? So if the Chicago
Debate doesn't say
Bulls,
that.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm just saying that's not the title of the debate, though.
Okay, so allow me to.
So if we could stick to the title of the debate, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, we are. If you let me get to
So
my
the title of the debate is
I just hold on.
Christianity.
I
Christian
just
ethics
but
is
let's
the best,
see.
right?
But let's
Right.
hear
So-
out. Okay, gentlemen, when I'm talking, I need you to just relax. Let's hear Dragon Fist out in terms of he's saying like, hold on, I'm saying that this is relevant. It's like we know what the title is on the video, of course. What is it, Dragon Fist? How do you think this is relevant? I want to hear it.
Yeah. So if you have a particular sports team, let's say that wins the championship for the year, you're going to say this team is the best team, right? It doesn't mean there's never going to be a team ever that's better or that you can't possibly conceive of a situation that's better. I'm talking about same thing in business, right? It comes down to numbers, right? Who's the best businessman? We can look at the numbers and see who that is. So when I'm saying objectively, we can look at results that have come from Christian systems, not some imaginary system that you made up that's based just on whatever you feel at the moment. But actually, you said we don't. When I interrupted you, which I apologize, and you stopped me, I was saying that you said you don't need a church or thousands of years of tradition, but actually you do. Otherwise, who decides? Craig, are you going to decide? Who decides in this ever change? So we should just all
Humanity decides, and the care ethics actually gets that because it's all about fairness and equal worth. There's no arbitrary hierarchies, sex orientation, caste, or creed. Use a veil of ignorance, test and give priority to the worst off when harms/benefits collide. So it is actually a much more fair system because it allows for humans and the way that humans exist and the empathy that humans have towards each other and the suffering that humans can have. It allows for those things to be minimized or maximized in the correct way. But most importantly, it is malleable, which Christianity is not. Christianity has a dead set of rules that can never change because Magic Sky Daddy say so, right? But my system that I've come up with has a malleable set of rules that can change based on evidence gained as time changes. It's a testable hypothesis that we can alter based on the needs of humanity to make sure humanity's needs are always prioritized and maximized. Christianity can never do that.
So, who makes the decision in this system is what I'm asking. Who
Humans do.
By what method? By voting?
By consensus, by harm reduction, by empathy, by seeing what is harmful to humans and not doing that, by seeing what maximizes productivity and happiness and doing that, by implementing laws and rules that are fair and equal for everybody involved, regardless of your sexual orientation, your gender, or your race. That is what's important. It's about human flourishing. So if we see that human flourishing isn't happening, as a humanity, as a whole, we get together and we go, well, let's alter the rules slightly so that we can flourish a bit more. And then we'll come back in 10 years and we'll see again how we're going, and maybe we'll alter the rules a bit more to make sure that humanity continues to flourish. The environment changes. Maybe the rules need to change. Food becomes more scarce. Maybe the rules need to change. Christianity cannot adapt in the way that will always allow humanity to flourish. What I've come up with, care, destroys Christianity, sorry. Don't destroy humanity, that's what God does. Destroys Christianity based on the fact that it can change to keep humans flourishing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to come up with like an imaginary system that never existed before, let me give you another.
Yeah, I just did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Let me
absolutely. And I have now defeated your claim of Christian
Let me
ethics are
give
best.
you another example. I'm going to ask you a question. You own your own business? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So when you were starting out your business, if you had two people that wanted to give you advice, right? One ran the most successful business that ever existed ever, and the other ran no business ever, came up with a plan, an imaginary plan, and gave you that plan. Whose advice would you have taken? Don't lie.
I would look at the details involved and form a hypothesis and test that hypothesis.
Whose advice would you have taken? Don't lie.
I just told you the answer.
You would not have taken the advice.
I just told you the answer. I would
greatest
look at the
businessman.
details. If you want me to answer a question, that means you need to make your mouth hole stop moving.
You're lying. But go ahead.
Oh, so you know that I'm lying because what? You're psychic? I know you believe in magic, but psychic things aren't real. Let me be clear, okay? Now, your question is completely and utterly irrelevant to the fact that as humanity, we can see what suffering is. Oh, bomb go off, people die. That bad. Let's make that not happen, okay? That's what's important, is humans not suffering. My system that I have come up with is all about making humans happy. Consent, continued consent. That's what is called care. Consent, personal agency, reduction of suffering, and evidence. The most important bit is the evidence and the fact that we can adjust to keep humanity happy. Christianity is far too rigid to help humans thrive in a world that is constantly changing.
So why is it that no secular society ever ends up working and ends up importing a more religious immigrant population anyway, to keep its population up? Why is that?
They don't particularly import just religious people, and in fact, the majority of the world seems to be going backwards in the amount of people that to keep it going. But that's really nothing to do with Christianity. And here's the thing: but more people. Words happening out my mouth. More people isn't always the best thing for society or ethics. Just at the moment, frankly, there's far too many people on the planet. Your country has some of the worst poverty probably the worst poverty in the Western world. The poverty rates in America are absolutely and utterly disgusting. So that if you're saying that's all based on Christianity, then that's a big problem. But my system would allow for adjustments to stop that happening.
No, what I'm saying is that your system doesn't reproduce itself. That's what I asked you, is how do you account
reproduce itself? What do you mean reproduce itself?
Secular society that never reproduces itself and always ends up.
What do you mean never reproduces itself?
I mean,
as in doesn't give extra. Well, what happens is,
let me answer the question. It's always
no, I know the question. Let me answer the question you just answered. So what happens is, I'm going to. That you need to right. So
that's always reproduce.
I'm trying to. No words.
Let's
as soon as I'm about to talk, you shush. Right? Okay. So, as I've just said, always reproducing yourself isn't the best thing. There may be a time where not having as many people is the better thing. But then my system allows for adjustments. So if we get to a point where we see, okay, the human population is now too low and we need to focus on having babies, we can put in place plans and incentives to help make more babies. And if you want to talk about secular countries, that's exactly what countries like Sweden, even England, Germany, and France are doing. They have massively increased the incentives for having babies, increasing time off for parents, increasing benefits for parents, increasing work-life balance for parents, because they noticed there was a problem and then went, you know what, we could probably do something about that. Whereas Christian ethics just go, make more babies, regardless of what is going on in the world. The amount of poverty you've got, don't make more people, because there's already fucking too many of them sitting on the street starving in your country.
Okay, so clearly you don't understand about the type of society you yourself are trying to push.
Please don't make assumptions about what I understand.
I'm going to elaborate, if you allow me.
Well, no, I would just appreciate you don't make assumptions about
it's
what I
clear
understand.
Based on what you're saying. It's not an assumption. I'm using what you just said to make.
Don't start with a poisoning the well fallacy. Just make your point.
Okay, so I'm not poisoning the well. I'm saying
you literally started with poisoning the well.
Okay, this is like, I think sometimes you guys are going to jab each other, like sometimes make like off the cuff marks toward each other. Let's get to the point.
Can a society that doesn't reproduce, that can't be at the right rate of reproduction, be a successful example of any society?
I just answered this. I literally just answered this question. Yes, they can. 100%. 100%. I'm answering the question. That means you need to stop talking because I am trying to answer the question you have asked.
So
I've asked 3 times. You haven't answered it.
Okay.
I have answered it every single time. Now be quiet so I can actually answer.
All right. Let's just 1 sec. Okay.
Right.
What we have to do is
answer then.
What the question? Just the question itself. What was the question, Andrew?
I said, how does he account for the fact that secular societies never are at the correct reproduction rate and always end up importing more religious groups anyway to keep their birth rate up? That's the question. And
I literally answered that.
No, you're saying they don't have to reproduce sometimes.
I literally answered your question. Are you not?
They never reproduce.
Be quiet and listen. You need to open your stupid ears and pay fucking attention to the words coming out of my mouth, okay? Secular countries like Sweden, France, Germany, and England have all put in place specific measures to increase the population, making it more. I'm talking. Wait till I'm done. I'm talking. Wait till I'm done. I'm talking. Wait till I'm done.
Go ahead.
Right. They have specifically put in place things to make more babies, which totally goes against your point of they can never reproduce themselves. What they're doing, which is very similar to the system I have put in place, is they are looking at a problem and coming up with solutions, i.e., putting in places incentives to make people have more babies. I don't know why you are so dumb that you don't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, but that directly answers your question. Please don't make me answer it again, because I will have to do several shorts about how fucking stupid you are.
Yeah, okay, then clearly it's not working because the population continuously...
It's new systems that have been put in place recently.
I do want to give Dragonfist a chance to respond now.
Okay, so for all of history, this has never worked, but your new system, now you figured it out. Now
you give me the data that shows it's never worked throughout all of history. That's a big claim.
I do want to.
Now the secular society is going to have more babies because of some incentive structure, but we still see that.
Sorry, you made a very big claim there. A very big claim that it's never ever worked for secular societies. Could I see the data?
That's my whole point.
Wait, hold on. Words were coming out of my mouth. I'm still doing the words thing. I'm still doing the words thing where I'm trying to.
Okay, gentlemen, I need you just 1 sec. Dude. All right, hold on 1 sec. Is that
you're like a
just
child?
Take a deep breath.
I'm a child.
So yes. I think that Dragonfist. What was the point that you were trying to make? What was it that you were saying, Dragonfist?
Well, I was in the middle of saying something. He interrupted me.
You can go.
Okay, go ahead, Craig.
He claimed, and it's a very big claim, and claims about evidence can be dismissed about evidence, that secular societies have never successfully managed to reproduce themselves. I would like evidence of that claim. Before he continues to keep making that claim, that's a very specific, very big claim that no secular society ever has managed to successfully reproduce itself. So could you please, before we continue, substantiate that humongous claim, please?
Yeah, of course. So we don't see any example. That's my point to you. That's what I've been trying to get you to understand this entire debate. There's
no, I'm looking for your data
of
that you've
a
just
secular
for your claim.
society successfully reproducing itself. That's my
yeah, that's you saying, but where's the evidence of this? Where's your evidence?
Right.
Okay, so your point is null and void because you have no evidence for it. It's just a claim.
It's not just a claim.
Well, then show me the evidence.
That's what I've been trying to get to the entire time.
Right, okay, all right, let's make this very, very simple for you. You have made a claim. Show me the evidence for that claim.
Right, okay, so which portion of evidence would you like to see on the metric?
I would like to see the data to back up your claim that no secular society ever in history has successfully managed to reproduce itself. That is a very specific claim that you now have the entire burden for. So let's see the data and the historical records and all the evidence to back up that massive claim. Or what we have to do is dismiss that claim because it's been presented without evidence.
Okay, sure. Again, if you let me get to it,
I'm going to move us into 60-second intervals. 60 seconds.
My point is the same. If you look to the beacon of Scandinavia today, everyone looks at these as the liberal insight for these socialist utopias. They cannot reproduce at higher than a 1.4 birth rate. This means that the society is not functioning successfully. By definition, it doesn't function successfully. They all have below replacement rate birth rates, all of them. That is the point. If you can't function successfully, if you can't continue the society, then it fails. So that's why I'm saying that Christian societies built on Christianity are the best systems, because even in America, you can see the contrast between the Christian half of the country and the other half. And just because I have eyeballs, I can see the difference when I look outside my lawn or when I go into some shithole area. I already know the difference of where I am and the ethical system that drives that area.
Yeah, like all the Christian families that are broken and abused and stuff. Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Anyway, you completely ignored my question.
We're at 60 seconds. Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, he completely and utterly ignored my question. I asked for evidence of his claim that throughout the entirety of history, there has never been a secular society that has managed to successfully reproduce itself. I'm not talking about just now. All right, we see what's happening now, and there are systems in place there are systems in place.
We have to let Craig. We have to let Craig.
See how he's a child. See how he's a child.
See
how he is a child.
He's on his 60 seconds.
Keep himself.
Right.
See how he's being a child, and he's arguing with you, James.
We have to let Craig finish his 60 seconds. We're still on his 60 seconds.
Like, yeah, take your dummy, slip it in your mouth, and be quiet for a minute, okay? Right. No, not just now. Your claim was that no secular society has ever done it successfully. That was your claim specifically, not just right now. So stop trying to move the goalpost like the little child that you are that doesn't know how to do debates. You're not doing very well. You probably shouldn't do this again, right? And give me the evidence of your claim that throughout the entirety of history, no secular society has ever successfully reproduced itself. And then I will take you through the recent increases in the Swedish population and birth rate.
Sure, we could certainly do that. Again, like I'm trying to explain to you, it clearly, the reason that I bring this back to the United States of America is we are the success story. It's still here. You can't prove. Why is that funny?
Fucking God, what? I'm sorry.
We have to, Craig. We can't interrupt. We cannot interrupt.
I'm sorry. That
United States is not the success story.
Oh God, no! It's the laughing stock of the world right now. Jesus Christ!
The laughing stock of the world.
Yes.
It's the greatest country that's ever existed in history.
No, it's not. Oh my God! Oh my Lord!
What we have to do. I hate to do this.
You're so ungrateful, sitting there in your little setup that you have built by
There it
Western
is.
civilization, built by Christianity, all the amenities
Not
that
by
you have to
Christianity,
enjoy,
no, by
and
science and
you're not
engineering.
even grateful about it. That's why you
No,
don't
science and
actually
engineering. I'm
understand
very
what
grateful
they're
for science and
talking about.
engineering. I'm very grateful for science and engineering. I am not grateful for the dark ages of Christianity that held back the world for several centuries.
Okay, this is also a strong
He said the USA is the best country in the world, guys.
I
Oh
do
my
want
fucking
to.
that's
lord.
ever
I do
existed
want
ever.
to give.
By
I want
Oh
to
my
metric,
give an
god, how
by
extra.
dumb are
metric.
you?
No. Okay, by metric, we've created
By
the most
metric, you've got the
billionaires.
highest rate of homelessness in the West.
I hate to do this, but I do want to be sure that because there was a lot of jumping in on Andrew's point, that we give 30 seconds or so to Andrew just to wrap that up. This I want it to be uninterrupted though, Craig. So go ahead, Andrew. You can unmute yourself. You should see a little window that says unmute.
Yeah, I mean he's laughing, but clearly not an American. This is why I tried to bring it up. There is a national identity of what makes an American. It's not just you come here and you're an American. See, this is what you don't understand. This is America is the greatest country that's ever existed, and it is built on Christian ethics. You don't. I don't know why that's funny. I'd like to hear, maybe you can explain it. But all the comforts that you enjoy and that you laugh at, you wouldn't have without this system. Why don't you go live in a different system if there's a better one available? Can you answer that? Why do you live in Western civilization?
Okay,
Why?
we'll go back to Craig. It looks like Craig is excited to respond. Go ahead, Craig.
He's just straight up lying. Christianity did not build Western civilization. Science and engineering did. Christianity held civilization back for centuries and centuries and centuries, crucified people that were doing science, burned people at the stake for suggesting the earth wasn't flat. Christianity did not build the Western civilization. Yes, a lot of the people that did the building were Christians because they were the ones that could read and stuff. But that doesn't mean Christianity built it. Just people that did science and engineering that went against what the church was saying are the ones that built Western civilization. So don't lie to me and say Christianity built Western civilization, because without Christianity, we'd be fucking walking on the moon right now.
No, it's actually incorrect what you're saying, and we can see the
Evidence for your claim.
Yeah, I'm trying. Every time I try to talk, you jump down my throat. We can see, even in this country as an example, what's happened since the 1950s and 60s, since we've gotten away from Christian ethics. In every metric, things are worse. As people get more and more secular, nihilism starts to take over. Would you not agree with that, that there's more of a nihilistic take as you get away from religious ethics? Do you not agree with
nihilism.
that? There's not more nihilism?
I said nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so you agree there is more nihilism then? That's what you're saying.
I just said there's nothing wrong with it.
But I'm asking if you agree that as you get away from religion.
I'll tell you what, I'll answer that question once you get me the evidence for one of your claims. Instead of just saying things over and over, right? All you are doing, let me be 100% clear. All you are doing is saying things, right? Whereas I can come to you with figures and numbers, right? And I'm going to do that right. I'm going to do that right now. So hold on, right? Here is where
That's a
here is where I debunk you.
All right, one thing I'd like to do.
Here's where I debunk you. Let me talk. Shush.
Okay, forgive my interruption. I appreciate your guys' spirited passion. I do want to make sure that we get that full minute of Andrew. The only thing is, Andrew, is like when you're getting a whole minute to make your case. Is if you ask Craig a question, it kind of pierces your 1 minute, because he'll go on and on as long as he can. So you're going to lose time to make your case or respond to what he just said if you're asking him a question too early, we'll say. So I do want to, if you have any last points that you want to make that you didn't get to make during that 60 seconds, Andrew, now is a good chance. And then I got to kick it back to Craig because I think you just asked him a question.
Yeah, I would like to know an example of any society ever that's existed that has produced more wealth and prosperity and self-reported happiness than the United States of America. That's what I would like to know. So there you go. I asked you a question. Provide the evidence, just like you said. Provide the evidence.
And then Craig, the floor is all yours. I just asked you to unmute.
The evidence.
You see how he's just flipped the script from me asking him evidence, and now he's gone, oh, no, you give me evidence of something instead. No, No, you've not given me any evidence of your claim that there has never been a secular society that have managed to reproduce themselves. That's a very specific claim that you made, and you have not substantiated any of it. And countries that are better and happier than the USA, Sweden. Much more, let's look at the international happiness scale. Where does the USA come? In the low 30s. Where does countries like Sweden come? Oh, in the top 10. I'm sorry, but the literal, polling and stuff around the world for who is happy and where is the best place to live says that America is not a happy place to be. Okay, America has constant school shootings. That doesn't happen around the rest of the world. I'm sorry, but your claim is absolutely and utterly ridiculous. Now, if I could, I'm going to take you through what Sweden have done to actually start increasing their birth rate, showing that secular societies, very much like my care system, can in fact alter things that are going wrong by looking at problems and evidence and making adjustments, which is something Christianity is incapable of. But I would like to give you a chance to respond to what I've said before I take you through how Sweden debunks everything you've ever said.
So you're going to show me, so what you're basically saying, just, I don't want to straw man you, so tell me if this is correct, is you're going to show me what Sweden plans to do, what their plan is, correct? To combat the dropping birth rate. Is that
maybe you've got a problem with hearing?
That's what you said.
Sure.
You said
I told you. I said I'm going to tell you what they are currently doing.
Right. So we haven't seen the results of this yet. Is what?
Well, maybe if you don't make assumptions, which is what you've been doing this whole time, also using circular reasoning. I also point out you never defined what best is, and you can't say that God says what best is because that's just circular reasoning. Right. So what have Sweden done? They have started offering generous paid parental leave, up to 480 days of paid parental leave, shared between parents, about 80% of your salary covered for the first 390 days. This policy is encouraging shared leave and actually boosted fathers' participation. The lifestyle shift alert, Swedish latte dads, etc. It's been a whole social movement to increase fathers' activities around being a parent. Family-friendly cash support, child allowances of up to 1,250 SEK per month per child, automatically granted with additional supplements for larger families, rent subsidiaries, special allowances for families with disabled children, state-funded childcare, public daycare, mostly run by municipalities, where with over 75% of children now attending for free. Some centres deal for round-the-clock care, ideal for 9 to 5 people working. Also extended leave for extended families. All these things have actually given an increase from the 1.7 to 1.8, right? And what they are currently doing is looking at ways to further increase the rate. So they have already shown that there is results that are working, that the birth rate can actually slightly increase based on things changing. And what they are now doing is trying to make it even better by going, well, what else do you people think would make you want to have babies? That's what the best thing about care or secular side is that we can look at problems and adjust to fix them. Yes, the birth rate has dropped, but they are doing things about it. Christianity never would.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Well, I did stop talking.
No, it's my turn, actually. Go ahead.
Okay. So I do want to point out a couple things that you said there. So you said that the happiness rate is higher in Sweden than it is in the United States, right? But we're talking specifically, like I said earlier, there's a huge divide in the United States. There's almost two populations here, a conservative population and very liberal population. We all can see which side Craig would be on. It's based on the things that you're saying. However, the point is that you can't say that all of the United States, we're talking about the Christian ethics of the United States. So here, I'm going to give you an actual statistic, since you say that I haven't given you any. Pew Research says out of Americans who attend church every week, 92% are happy with their lives. So I'm sure that this is, what was your stat about Sweden?
That they've gone from 1.7 to 1.8, which is an increase.
No, your stat on the happiness metric, self-reported.
They're in the top 10, whereas USA are in the below the 30s.
Right, but what I'm saying is that church-going Americans are at 92%. So that is exactly
Where's
my
where did you get that stat from?
Pew Research. I can send it over.
Could I see the out of
92% of
all church
Americans who
going
attend church weekly say they're satisfied with their lives.
satisfied with lives isn't the same as being happy. Okay. Now, just quickly, do you know what the Treaty of Tripoli is?
Can you just hold 1 second? I want to get you the stat. No, tell me.
Really? You're an American. You don't know about that?
I don't know everything, dude. That doesn't like make me stupid.
You're a sucky American. Right, signed by President John Adams, says the government of the United States is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion. And then the First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. That's literally a wall between the church and state. So I'm just going to say, no, you're entirely wrong. America's not based on Christian ethics, according to, the Constitution.
Okay. You're a human rights guy, right? Where do those come from in the preamble? I think it says it in there. Where do those come from? Those inalienable rights.
Could you put what does it say?
I think it says endowed by their creator with these. No. It doesn't say that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't mention creators or gods or anything.
It doesn't say endowed by their creator. It does say that. I have to pull it up.
Founding fathers like Jefferson, Franklin, Madison leaned more to deist Enlightenment humanist than Orthodox Christians. So no, the USA is not, according to the Constitution, a religious state. It's certainly not Christian. And even if it mentions a creator, that's not Christian. There are, many religions have creators, and many non-religious people have creators. So just your claim of America being a Christian society is false. And is USA the best country in the world? Well, the life expectancy, USA ranks 40th behind Japan, Italy, Spain, even Costa Rica. Healthcare, only developed nation without universal coverage. Highest per capita costs, Medicare outcomes. Education, US students rank below dozens of countries in maths and science, including all of the European countries. Inequality, the Gini index is among the worst. Infant mortality, higher than most developed nations in the USA. Ooh, weird. Yeah, I don't know about your claims of America being best or Christian. Both of those seem completely false.
Okay, so let's talk about your claims that America is not Christian, because I did found it, and it does.
It literally says that in the Treaty of Tripoli.
All these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. It's in
Where
there.
does it say God or Christian there? It doesn't.
Endowed by their Creator with unalienable.
Again, did you not listen to the words I said before? Many religions have creator, and many non-religious people believe in a creator of some kind. But let me be very specific. It doesn't say anything about Christianity there. The only time it mentions Christianity is, for instance, in the Treaty of Tripoli, where it says the government of the United States is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion. You can't get more, there it is. It literally says in the treaty signed by one of your presidents that the American nation is not founded on the Christian religion in any sense.
Yeah, there was.
So no, you're wrong.
Others, no, I'm not wrong. Wait,
what do you? Okay, no, wait, hold on. No, you don't just get saying they were wrong. What does that say?
My turn.
What does that say?
I do want to give Andrew a chance to respond. Go ahead, Andrew.
Let me respond. Based on one person dissenting and saying that this isn't based on this system doesn't mean that it's not based on it.
First Amendment.
It was religious Puritans that came over here and
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No.
Just forgive me for doing this, Craig.
The name of the ship was the Santa Maria.
I know that there's a lot you disagree with, Craig, but if you stop at every single thing, like we have to let him get his maybe 60 seconds or so.
Yeah, I know, but I've already told him all these things, and he's just saying that it's not true. Like he's literally saying that. Yeah, okay, all right. I'll give him his 60 seconds, and then I'll point out again how wrong he is by explaining the founding fathers that.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have a revisionist form of history, and Craig is the same
Lovely
thing.
claim.
his whole worldview is just based on his magic ideas of what's good for humanity. It's not any. Yeah, where do they come from, Craig? Show me. You've lost this debate before. I've seen it. I don't want to take you. It's too easy. I don't want to take you down the same road. But you've already lost this debate like 3 times. I've seen it. Like you can't point to where rights come from. That's right. So what is the difference between your system and the system that I'm saying? The only difference is the one that I'm saying actually has proven results. The one that you're saying fails every time. You come up with the magic solution and say that this is the best system that's ever existed. It makes no sense. And I would, like you said, I'll leave it with a question. Where does your system come from other than an idea of your mind? If you can point to the difference, because you say we have.
Okay, stop talking. You've asked me a question. Again, you must be hard of hearing because I went through this already. It comes from human empathy. It comes from not wanting people to suffer. I'm talking. You shut the fuck up, all right? Be a good little boy and do as you're told. Be quiet. It comes from human empathy. It comes from people not wanting to suffer. It comes from human flourishing. It comes from looking at evidence of what is working and what is not and making adjustments. I've already talked you through this. Do you have an issue converting short-term to long-term memory? Is that a problem that you possess?
My question.
It was your question. I just answered your fucking question. Where did it come from? And I told you.
My question is, where does it exist in material reality? Anything that you believe. Where does it exist in material reality is my question.
That's not the topic of this debate. That's not the topic of this debate. Why are you changing what the debate is about? The debate is very simple. Read the title of the debate. Christian ethics. Words coming out of my mouth. I was talking.
The entire time.
I was talking. I was talking.
Entire time.
I was talking.
Let's give you.
I was talking. I was talking. I was talking. I was talking. I was.
Okay, forgive me, guys, but just to be sorry, I appreciate both of your guys' spirited responses. Forgive me for laughing. It's only that I'm like, I appreciate the energy. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. We're just gonna I want to go back to those 1 minute intervals. We tried to go off of them, and I just want to go back to them. So, what was the last question that was asked? Sorry, my working memory is kind of shot because that's right. You're muted. Okay. So, Andrew, what did you ask Craig last?
I'm trying to point and show that Craig's position is just his idea that's alive in his mind as well. The only difference is the one that I'm putting forth has proven track record results, and he's making one up as we go. So that is my point. I'm asking him to point.
Okay, so I think Craig is saying like, hey, like this is like more practical. Yours is just something that you like.
That's not anything to do with the topic of the debate. The topic of the debate is very, very. Sorry. Was I talking? Yeah, I was talking.
Okay,
wasn't
we're going to give you
That's
60
when you be
seconds,
quiet.
Craig.
Yeah. So the topic of the debate is Christian ethics are the best. That means that they have to be better than anything ever that has ever existed or could ever possibly exist. All right. I have given you a system that is objectively better than Christianity in every single way, based on the fact that it can adapt to what humans need to be better. To match your claim of Christianity is the best for ethics, it has to be better than anything that could ever possibly exist. Not just what exists or has existed, it has to be the best that could ever be. And you haven't demonstrated that. All you've done is lied about a bunch of stuff, like America being the best country in the world and it being based on Christianity, which is just inherently and objectively false. Like, do you even know the difference between a declaration and a constitution? Like the declaration that you talked about says it's endowed by a creator. That's not law, that's the Constitution.
The Constitution. Seconds. We'll kick it over to Andrew. Yep. Andrew, I'm unmuting you. Go ahead.
Yeah, again, you could keep calling me stupid, but you miss like the simple details of, I said it was founded on Christian ethics. So therefore, I'm bringing up the founding document, the founding document, which is the Declaration. So like I could do the same thing as you. You fucking idiot. You're so stupid. I'm trying to be respectful to you, dude. And all I'm saying is that based on metrics, the United States is the largest GDP that's ever existed. We've created the most billionaires that have ever existed. Every invention that you use comes out of the United States of America. Hold on. Like you said, words are coming out of my mouth. Every single one. When's the last time you used an invention from Scandinavia? Name one. So Craig sits here using everything that's been given to him by these civilizations, denying where they themselves say it comes from, finding one person that says that he wasn't a Christian when I'll look it up because I know he's going to ask for the metric. I'm sure 70%, but I'm going to look it up, of the founding fathers were considered Christian, considered themselves Christian, but one says they weren't. Craig says it wasn't, lives in all the amenities of it, and has no gratitude or appreciation or even understanding of where it comes from.
We'll go to Craig.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, but you are everything was invented in America. Dude, Scotland invented most things. Television, telephone, Scotland. Printing press, that was invented in Germany. Steam engine, that was invented in Scotland. The telephone, Scotland. Penicillin, Scotland. Television, Scotland. Automobile, Germany. Rocketry, Germany. Computers, UK. World Wide Web, UK. Gunpowder, China. I'm sorry, USA's invented fuck all, mate. Don't give me that bullshit. Literally, the people that founded the United States of America were not Christians. They lent more towards as I pointed out, the founding fathers lent more towards like Jefferson, Franklin, Madison. They leaned more towards deist and Enlightenment humanist than Orthodox Christian. And the First Amendment to the Constitution says that Congress will make no law respecting the establishment of religion. Plus, the thing that you keep bringing up does not say Christianity. It just says a creator, which does not mean Christianity. So everything that you just said is an outright lie.
We'll kick it over to Andrew. Go ahead, Andrew.
Okay, since you're pressing me for facts for things that are just obvious to anyone with common sense, of the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence, all but 2 were Christian. What now?
Wrong.
Wrong?
Yeah.
I can give a breakdown of each denomination.
I've already mentioned 3 of them. But
okay.
It doesn't even matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter now.
Words.
Everything he's saying
words. I was saying words. It doesn't even matter what the people were. What matters is what is written in the Constitution. And the Constitution specifically says that religion is not part of the United States. Let me read the one again, very specifically, the Treaty of Tripoli, which was signed by one of your presidents and is part of your law of your country. 1797, the government of the United States is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion. And First Amendment, Congress should make no law respecting an establishment of religion. That literally means that your country is, according to your founding fathers and the documents that they wrote, is not a religious country.
Okay. So,
oh my God.
So yeah,
I literally can't believe you said America invented everything. They've invented literally nothing, dude.
America's invented nothing. Okay, so let's go back to your previous.
Maybe the light bulb.
No, okay, it's my turn. See, this is how like you want to call me stupid. I really don't want to get into.
Yes,
like,
you are. You are very dumb.
I'm really not. That's not my style to like come in here and start calling you stupid, even though clearly, like you even dropped the Scotland one about the phone, and it was wrong. Alexander Graham Bell was born in Scotland, but invented it and patented it in the United States of America. So even your own facts are factually wrong. It was invented and patented here for a reason, because of American capitalism, because of American ingenuity. It actually proves my point. Every time you try to make a point, you're proving my point. You are actually the one that just can't see it.
Okay,
we'll go over to Craig. He looks excited.
Yeah, he was Scottish, not American.
I didn't say he wasn't. I said it was invented in America.
You said America invented everything. No, he was Scottish. You didn't say invented in America. You said America invented everything. He was Scottish, and he got all of his education in Scotland. He just went to America because he needed a bit of money, but he'd already.
Oh, he couldn't do it in Scotland, but he could do it in America.
I was doing words. I was doing words. Yeah,
exactly my point.
I was doing words. No, I was doing
you're
words.
winning for me.
I was doing words.
I'm so
I
stupid,
was
you're
doing
winning
words.
the debate
James,
for me.
I'm
Okay,
trying
we
to.
have to.
I'm
Let's
trying
let
here.
Craig go.
You are a petulant little child that cannot control yourself. It's incredible. Right. He got all his education and he developed and designed the invention in Scotland. The only thing he went to America for was funding. The invention came from Scotland, from a Scottish person, right? And the TV, steam engine, printing press, Germany, penicillin, Scotland, Germany, automobile, rocketry, Germany, computer, UK, World Wide Web, UK, gunpowder, China, America. All right, you did the airplane with the Wright brothers, light bulb from Edison, DARPA internet protocols, and a bunch of stuff with microchips. But no, America has not invented everything. That is an outright stupid lie to make.
Okay, without going too far on this topic, I do want to make sure that we return, because we've talked a lot about where different things were invented. So I don't want to spend too much more time on this, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, sorry, I just
Andrew,
needed to debunk the nonsense he said. I do apologize.
It was nonsense. It was invented here. It was patented here. If you can't
That's
get the
not invented
for something, yeah. If you can't, yeah, the invention didn't happen.
The invention happened in Scotland.
It was patented here in the United States of America. It didn't happen in Scotland.
It was invented in Scotland.
It was invented by a Scottish person.
Gentlemen, I hate to do this. Let's go to the next topic. So we're gonna mute Craig for a second. Go ahead, Andrew. Next point, please.
Yeah, I don't even know where to go, because the points that he makes are literally, they make no sense. I don't know what.
Look, he's hitting himself in the face.
I want to know what he thinks is so funny about it was patented in America. Why is that funny? I fail to see the joke as to why that's funny. You don't see that the need was there, or he wouldn't have went there. People don't do things. Why is that funny? Do you do things just to do them? Or do you go somewhere because the opportunity is better?
This might be a good opportunity. We're going to kick it over to Craig. Minute.
I don't even know why you're laughing.
Dude, let me be very clear. Patent does not mean invention. The invention part happened in Scotland. What's hard to understand about this? He invented it in Scotland, went to America to patent it because that's where the money was.
That's right. That's my point. But
the invention happened in Scotland,
go to
not
where the
America.
Money is to breed innovation.
I hate to do
That's
this.
my
Forgive
point.
me, guys.
Again.
But just forgive me. I do want to go to the next topic. You have to let the invention stuff go. Okay, Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, again, I'm trying to understand. Craig laughs and he makes it seem like I try to be more stoic. He calls me a child, but I see him. He's laughing hysterically at something that's not really that funny. So I see that it's a tactic that he's using to try to win the debate. But I'm still looking for just a single example of any system that's done better than Western civilization, where he currently lives and enjoys the amenities of and has no appreciation for. One example. I've been waiting all night to hear it. Not an imaginary. He started with Star Trek. Give me a real example of a better system. Not Star Trek, dude. Okay. A real system.
Craig showing his tattoos off. We'll give him a chance. Go ahead, Craig. Show those tattoos again, please. Wow.
That's my new one. Yeah, it's going to get turned into a full sleeve soon.
You like that, Andrew?
I do like it. Wow. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I know it's your style. You want to yell at me?
Yeah. So, you keep saying that Christianity built the Western world when I've already pointed out how wrong that is. Christianity held back the Western world for centuries and centuries and centuries. What built the Western world was engineering and science. All right, so stop with the straw man and the lie of Christianity built the Western world, because it didn't. If Christianity wasn't a thing, the Western world would have been advanced way quicker. It wouldn't have been held back by centuries. So your question doesn't even make sense, because it's based on an entirely false premise and a lie of Christianity building Western culture. No, it didn't. Engineering and science did.
only two of the founding fathers, as I proved to you, weren't Christians. So you say that that may not influence. They
The
may not.
fuck has that got to do with what I
Let
just
me
said?
finish my sentence, dude. Enough. So you're saying that that didn't influence, that no laws were written based on this, but certainly someone's religious ideology affects the way that they structure a system of government, right? Whatever your ideology is affects whatever decision making you would think is best, right? You wouldn't have an ideology that you didn't include the ethical system of in the country that you're forming. That doesn't make any sense, or you wouldn't hold that ideology. Could you agree with that or no? Because I showed you that only two of the founding fathers weren't Christian, as you're sitting here saying they weren't Christian. So I don't know how to have a debate with someone that's laughing like that is a fact. Only two of them weren't Christian. So their Christianity had nothing to do
It
with.
does not matter what
It
their
doesn't?
religion is. What matters is
Whatever.
what they wrote in the Constitution. And
Right.
once again, I am going to point out very, very clearly that nowhere in the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence does it mention God. Does it mention Jesus? Or does it mention the Bible? Or does it mention Christianity? Absolutely nowhere. The only time that Christianity or religion is mentioned in the Constitution is when they specifically mention how it is not part of the Constitution, like in the First Amendment, where they make no law respecting an establishment of religion, and the Treaty of Tripoli, which says the government of the United States is not in any sense founded on a Christian religion. Unless you can, right, here's the challenge for you right now, and if you can't do it, then you have to concede. Point out to me in the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution where it says Jesus, God, Bible, Christianity. Where's that in the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence? Where is it?
Yeah. Okay. So you pointed to some logical fallacies earlier. You know.
No, I just asked you a question. Could
I'm
you stick with the question I've answered
dude.
you?
Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. I'm answering it. I'm tired of your little fucking interruptions every time I
Well,
try.
just don't go off on a tangent. Just answer the question,
I'm
because you've
not.
been doing tangents this whole time.
What was the question? Sorry, dude. I can't with this guy. What's
The question is, can you point out the specific part in the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution that says God, Christianity, Jesus, or Bible?
Got it. Yeah. Okay. So like I was saying, you pointed out to logical fallacies earlier. One of them, as I'm sure you know, one of the laws is reason, right? If something's reasonable. If only two of the 56 founders are not Christian, and I can give you their denominations, then it's reasonable to assume that when they make the statement saying creator, that they're talking about the God as they understand. Creator is not
a lovely assumption. That's a lovely assumption.
Let me finish. Now you're going to say that creator is not a synonym for God in the context. So if you have a bunch of Christians,
can you prove it? Can you absolutely 100%
I can prove it. It's called a dictionary.
Okay,
creator is a synonym for God, and these were Christians. That's like, I don't know where you're losing the logic train here. I'm the idiot, right? But I just proved it to you. So now you have to concede because it was based on, I just by your own definition.
We'll go back to Craig. Well, Craig, I think he has a rebuttal. Craig,
there's many other creators other than God. It doesn't mention God. It doesn't say, if it was God, it would have said God. It wouldn't have used a synonym. Cinnamon. I must be hung. Be quiet. I'm talking. They wouldn't have used a synonym. They would have used the word God, and they would have mentioned Christianity, the Bible, Jesus. They would have mentioned these things in the Constitution. Instead, they specifically said that it does not have religion as part of the Constitution. The point is, it didn't matter what the people were. They got together and decided that that wouldn't be important. What would be important was making a new nation where everyone was created equal. And that is just a phrasing. It literally says in the Constitution, religion, no, not part of it. So unless you can debunk the Constitution by showing me the exact words Christianity or God in the Constitution, you don't have a point. I'm not going with your assumptions and your synonyms. You have to do the actual thing.
So can you give me, I'm not going to ask a question so early, but clearly everybody listening to this knows that when 56 Christians are together in a room and they say creator, that is the same thing as saying God. There's literally no difference. And the only time...
Prove it.
Yeah, just get a dictionary, dude.
No.
I'm not
Prove that
gonna
that's
prove
what they
it.
meant.
Like
Why
everyone
did,
knows
right,
what
here's the thing.
creator means.
Why did they go to
What is
America?
endowed by their
Why
creator?
did they go to
What
America?
is the creator? It's God.
No,
Clearly,
it's not. It's the flying
Christians
spaghetti
wrote
monster,
this.
actually.
Are you a Christian?
No, I believe in the flying spaghetti monster. Christians are
No,
dumb.
you just believe in your own system of made-up things.
Yeah, you believe in your system of made up things, but
Right,
no.
that's my
Right?
point. I'm just
Why
saying
did they
my
go to
system
America?
works.
Hold
Your
on. Let
system
me ask you a
doesn't,
question.
and I
Let me
have
ask you a
numbers
question.
to prove
Let
it.
me ask you. No, you've given no numbers. You've given no data that I've asked for. Right. Here's the thing. Why did they
giving you
go to
data.
America? Why did they go to America?
They went to America to escape religious persecution.
Oh,
That's
really?
why the Christian ethics gave you the freedom to practice whatever religion you want. It's Christianity that gives you that freedom.
No, it's not Christianity that gives you the
Yes, it's
freedom to
the
practice whatever
Christianity
religion you
of the
want.
founders that caused them to write it that way. How are you going to say that
I'm
their
sorry.
own
How backwards is
system
that?
of morals that they
Wait. No.
tell
I'm
you
sorry,
that
but
they had? I can
you're
go
wrong.
down
You're
by
so wrong there. You're
denomination.
so wrong on every
No,
level.
I can tell you their
You're so
denomination.
wrong on every level. Let
Each
me explain why. Let me
denomination of
explain.
each
Please let me
person
explain why.
there.
Let me
And you're
explain
telling
why.
me
Calm
that,
down and let me explain why. Calm down. Take a deep
explain why
breath.
what?
Take a deep breath and I'll explain why you're wrong. Okay? They specifically said that religion was not part of the country. Right? Christianity does not say that you can worship other religions. In fact, the Bible specifically says that that is not allowed. So you are going against Christianity by saying the founding fathers used Christianity to say that you can worship any religion, because that's literally against the fucking Bible.
Oh, see, you're missing my point.
I'm still doing the words thing. I'll let you know when the words have stopped. I know that you're a petulant child and you don't have impulse control. Right? No straw man's there.
We have to. I do want to. It's approximately 60 seconds. Let's kick it back to Andrew, and then I'm going to set the timer for 60 seconds for Andrew. The floor is yours, Andrew.
Yeah, so you've done this a few times. You're confusing like God's exact laws. I'm not saying that we should follow every law of Christianity. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that never was what I'm saying. And it is Christian ethics that allow for tolerance.
I'm sorry.
So you can't understand this simple concept. Christian ethics do allow for tolerance. That is what gave you the ability to sit there and laugh, because of the tolerance of the Christians that wrote the Constitution that you're laughing at right now. So I don't know how you could say that someone's own moral system that they say that they have, like I said, I can give you the denominations, doesn't affect the work that they do. They were governed by this ethical system. It's what drove them. Why is that funny, dude? Laughing isn't a rebuttal. Laughing's not a rebuttal to that. So if you want to let me know which part of that isn't true, they weren't Christians. They didn't practice tolerance. Tolerance is not one of your main values. Is that what you're saying? What are you laughing at, dude?
Okay, we'll kick it back to Craig.
He said Christianity's tolerant. I'm dying. I'm fucking dying. Christianity tolerant. Christianity is the least fucking tolerant thing that there is. That's why the fucking witch trials and the burning and the fucking dark ages happened. You are objectively 100% wrong. No, nothing about the founding of the USA was anything to do with Christianity or Christian values or Christian ethics. It was a brand new set of rules set forward by people that didn't want religion to be the thing to control them. Specifically mentioned in the Constitution is how religion is not part of it. So everything that you are saying goes against the Constitution because you have a preconceived notion that because the people were Christian, therefore they had to have Christian ethics as part of the thing they put into the Constitution, when the Constitution itself fucking disagrees with you. You are literally the worst American that there is. You would fail a citizenship test.
We'll kick it over to the worst American there ever was. Andrew, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Okay. Again, so you're the one making claims all the same time while calling me stupid. Show me in the Constitution where it says separation of church and state. I'll wait.
The First Amendment to the Constitution.
Oh, that's
the First Amendment. Congress shall make
no.
Yeah, you asked me to talk, and then you started. Seriously, do you not know how conversations work? You're like a flat earther.
That's not what it says.
I'm going to read it to you. The First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion. That's literally a wall between church and state.
No, it's saying that that's a law against not restricting people's religious beliefs. I'm asking where it specifically says that, and
That is
that in
literally a
itself
wall between
is a
church and
law
state.
about religion. What are you talking about, dude? Of course, it's not
No,
saying that
that
within
isn't.
a
That
law.
literally is. Right, the First Amendment is literally a wall between church and state. That's what it is.
No, the
How do
term
you
that
not know
you're
this?
talking about
As an American,
All right,
how do
from a
you
what I'd
not
letter
know
like
from
to
this?
do,
Thomas Jefferson. It's not in the Constitution.
what I'd
You're
like to
talking
do,
about,
It's the First Amendment to the
right? It's for
Constitution.
religious freedom. It has nothing to do with separation of church and state.
That's
Nothing
literally
to
what
do with
that
it.
is. Oh
No,
my
it's
fucking
not. It's
God.
for religious
It's,
freedom. You're
what I'd
telling
like
I
to
you are
do,
so dumb. You are
No,
the dumbest
you are
American
so
I've ever
dumb.
spoken to.
okay, what I'd like to do is have just 1 minute intervals. I want to set the timer. You guys have enough in you to cover a full minute? Like, does
Yeah,
any
sure.
of you got a minute's worth of points?
Sure. But
Okay.
hold on. He can go first if he wants.
Craig, it looks like what are you
Yeah,
doing over
so
there with your hands off camera? All right, the floor is all yours, Craig.
I was grinding some weed. Sorry.
No, you're
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. What this means in plain English is no official religion. That's the establishment clause. The government can't pick a religion, enforce one, or favor one over the other. That's why the US isn't legally a Christian country. It's deliberately not tied to any faith. The freedom of practice means that you can worship whoever you want. If you were a Christian nation, you would not allow people to worship other religions, because that goes against the Bible. Okay, the Bible literally says you shall not worship false idols, anyone else, right? Only me, as in God, right? So if you're saying that freedom of religion is a Christian ethics, you don't understand what either freedom of religion or Christian ethics means. Yeah, it's better when you can't talk. It's probably better for you, to be honest. You realize this is on the internet forever. Everyone's going to see
Sorry
this
about
for
that.
like all the time.
Okay, floor is all yours. Sorry, Andrew.
Yes, thank you once again, Craig, for your kind words there. However, like I said, and like you just read and made my point for me again, the First Amendment is about the government not establishing an official religion for the country. It has nothing to do with
This is
separation.
not Christian.
Separation of church and state does not appear in the Constitution. It comes from a letter from Thomas Jefferson written in 1802 to the Danbury Baptist Association, where he described the First Amendment as building a wall of separation between church and state. So this is Thomas Jefferson's interpretation. Again, you find the one person that has a specific interpretation of something, and you take that as this is how it was meant in the founding, and that every single founder meant for it to be this way. Same thing that you did earlier. That's not the case once again. And to say that 52 Christians got together, wrote the greatest document, the longest standing constitution that's ever existed, and it had nothing to do with their Christianity, I think is a cowardly maneuver, man. At least give credit where credit's due.
We'll kick it over to Craig.
Credit where credit's due. Thanks, Christianity, for holding back humanity for several centuries and being the most horrific thing to ever happen to humans. So, yeah, you are correct that it was Thomas Jefferson in 1802, his letter to Danbury Baptist. He wrote that the Establishment Clause built a wall of separation between church and state. However, the Supreme Court later adopted that phrase as a guiding principle in cases like Everson versus Board of Education. So it's actually been adopted as part of American, Constitution, that it is a wall of separation between church and state, according to the legal, the Supreme Court. So you're wrong about that. But once again, the main point I want to make here, which debunks everything that you are saying about America being built on Christian ethics, is the fact that it allows freedom of religion. Christian ethics does not allow freedom of religion. Specifically, Christianity says that Christianity is the one religion. It does not allow worshiping anyone else other than God. If America was a Christian nation built on Christian ethics, there would be no such thing as freedom of religion. Those two things cannot exist together. They are incompatible. Therefore, you are objectively wrong about your claim that America is based on Christian ethics.
What I want to do is give each of you guys 1 minute to wrap up, to draw together. If you guys want 2 minutes, you can. This is when we usually go into the Q&A. So you'll have about 2 minutes to draw together the threads from this debate, including, if you want to respond to what Craig just said, Andrew. And all that I ask is that you guys wouldn't bring up new information, or at least, especially Craig, because you'd be the last person to speak. If you want to rebut what you had heard, that's fine. But in terms of, let's say, a new argument where it's like you hadn't even brought it up the whole debate, we want to have the other person have a chance at least at some point to respond. Then we're going to go into the Q&A. So, folks, if you happen to have any questions, we've already got a good question list. If you fire them in at the live chat, you can either tag me at Modern Day Debate or a super chat. That will go to the top of the list if it's a super chat. With that, Andrew, the floor is all yours for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just going to give some examples, some direct examples of Christian influence, and this comes from their own words, because this is what Craig's doing all night. Right. Human dignity and equality declaration. I already brought this on. This is the first one. Says people are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. Moral law above human law. The founders drew on the Christian teaching that God's law is higher than man's law. Justice, virtue, and restraint. The founders believed people are sinful, so government needed checks and balances. James Madison's Enlightenment. If men were angels, no government would be necessary. Freedom of conscience, rooted in Christians' dissenting traditions. Puritans, like I said, Baptists, Quakers. Religious liberty became the first freedom in the Bill of Rights. Here, cited as a Christian ethic. So I don't know where you get the idea of what you think Christian ethics are. You think it's like God commanding to kill babies, but tolerance is a Christian ethic. Tolerance is a Christian ethic. It is the reason that Christians allow other religions to flourish when, if you go to a Muslim country, they don't allow this. That's the difference I was trying to point out to you in the beginning.
They literally do.
And you're going to get one or the other. That's what you're not understanding, because your society can't reproduce itself. So make a choice, because you're not getting your type of people because they don't have enough kids. You're getting this religious society or this one, because they actually reproduce. So if you want to make up some society that doesn't exist, good luck with that, sir.
We'll kick it over to our dear friend Craig as well.
Thank you. It's impressive that he doesn't even know the words in the Constitution that literally says no religion, not a thing, not part of the Constitution. And to claim to be a Christian and say that they tolerate other religions when it's literally in the Bible that you're not allowed to worship other things is a complete contradiction in terms, and shows that this guy's not actually a Christian or has never even read the Bible. Excuse me, this is my time. You be quiet.
Another straw man all night.
No, excuse me. This is all right, James. Could I get my 2 minutes again? Because he's just interrupted me.
We'll let you finish your 2 minutes. We'll give you the time back. Go ahead.
Yeah. See what I mean? Petulant child, crazy. Yeah. So he has simply ignored the words in the Constitution and ignored what the Bible actually says. It's actually crazy. Now, the main thing is he came here to claim that Christian ethics is the best, but everything he said that he claimed as Christian ethics came before Christianity. Being nice to your neighbor, not a Christian thing. That happened before. All the things that he claims are Christian ethics came before Christianity. So Christianity is just plagiarism of other things. I suggest that this person should read the Bible and he should read the Constitution, because he doesn't understand or has clearly never read either of them, because they specifically go against every single claim that he has ever made in this debate. Rubik's, if you're watching, shorts out of this, please.
This is the time that we'll go into the Q&A. Want to say we appreciate both of our friends, our guests, our speakers, our big, beautiful debaters. Folks, we're going to jump in.
Can I just take a toilet break, if that's okay?
Yes, we're going to let Craig go
go ahead.
to the restroom. Same thing with Andrew. If you
Yep.
need to use the restroom, I'm going to do a couple of quick housekeeping things. Folks, if you had not heard, pinned at the top of the live chat and at the top of the description box, Modern Day Debates, DebateCon 6, our 6th debate conference, is happening Saturday, November 15th, and Sunday, November 16th. Where, you ask? Mos Eisley? No. It's in the beautiful city of Nashville, Tennessee. So, my friends, check it out. You will find there are 2 full days of debates. We just added a new debate today between Muslim Hamza's Den and Christian Mike Jones, aka Inspiring Philosophy. It is going to be huge. I'm telling you, for real, folks, check it out. Now, I just Googled, because you might be thinking, like, I don't know, it might be kind of far away, James. I don't know if I can come out for that. I got to tell you, if you flew from Chicago, let's say, flights are still so cheap right now. So not only are flights cheaper right now because we're more than 2 months away, we're actually about 3 months away. But if you get the early bird ticket, that is discounted as well. And not only that, but if you, as I said, flew from Chicago to Nashville, round trip, it's $90. So less than $100. You can go from Chicago down to Nashville, especially if you've never seen it before. Nashville is a beautiful city. So, folks, I mean, that's how cheap, for example, for me flying in from Las Vegas to Nashville right now, the flights are still pretty cheap. So I've got to tell you, you do not want to miss out on this conference. It's going to be huge. Check out your plane tickets. We're going to jump into this Q&A. Thank you very much for your questions, folks. We've got a lot of juicy ones here. Some that are, how do I say?
Not very nice to me.
Actually, let me see if we've got any bangers here.
Hey, James, just so you know, I don't care. If they're insults to me, go ahead and read them.
Wow. If you want, let's see. This one coming in from, thank you, Marilyn, my sugar mama. Thanks for your super chat. I appreciate it. And Chef Dylan said, the shoulders of the proverbial Christian giants that Craig arrogantly stands upon are too large for him to realize where he is in the context of history. Craig, do you agree?
Yeah, no, I don't stand on the giants of Christian shoulders. I stand on the giants of scientists and engineers and physicists that actually figured out how the world works. As I pointed out several times in this debate, thanks to Christianity, we had the Dark Ages. We were held back for centuries and centuries. People that did science and tried to do engineering and figure out about the world were persecuted, were hunted down, were called sinful and blasphemous. No, Christianity doesn't have the people with the shoulders that I stand on. I stand on the shoulders of giants like Einstein and Newton and Isambard Kingdom Brunel.
Thank you very much. And we have another question. This one coming in from Chef Dylan again says, Craig, they say that they're quoting you. It says, don't you dare tell me to stop talking. I will sit here and waste time until James has to tell me it isn't my turn. Then they said, I truly wonder if you feel the embarrassment I feel on your behalf.
Well, I can't help that you're too dumb to understand which one of us was over talking more than the other, or you're too dumb to understand what is an entertaining program. But thank you anyway for sending a super chat to James. It will certainly help pay for me to go to DebateCon 6. Cheers.
Chef Dylan says, Craig, it's definitely bad faith to interrupt your opponent and then bitch about him interrupting, then immediately interrupting him again. I'm just trying to help.
Cool story, bro.
This one frame Basil problem says modern day debate.
Hey, Basil.
Says, what is the preferred Subway sandwich to use as a projectile, and why is it the foot-long Italian salami? You know what? It's so disrespectful. It's so sad that someone would throw a Subway sandwich, not just because it was a federal agent or just a human being in general, but because it's a waste of a perfectly good foot-long. Cool. V1C says, James, tell Craig to snap into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah, that's right. I am wearing my Macho Man Randy Savage T-shirt right now, folks. I'm a huge. I've been watching right now. Well, I don't want to get into the details, but I've been watching pro wrestling all day.
Get real.
This one from Gavin Free None says, James, please at least acknowledge Craig has been doing nothing but interrupting and then getting pissy when he gets cut off once. This dude sucks.
Yeah, the bias is fantastic. They never see the fact that literally when I get 2 words out, the other guy spoke. So then I just did it back to him. I think most people are aware of how I operate. I see how my opponent acts, and then I do it 10 times worse. So everything that happened to him was his fault for acting like a petulant child.
Wow. Now, this one coming in from Gavin Free None strikes again, says, Craig says, quote, don't tell me what to do, unquote. But then also Craig says, shut up, I'm talking. Do you see my lips moving? And then they say, this guy is restarted.
Restarted.
Yes, you meant retarded. It's okay. We can say that. I don't mind. But yeah, I did that on purpose. Maybe you weren't aware. Oh, that's right. You're too stupid to see what I'm actually doing.
Wow.
You still think that? Everybody in the chat is telling you. You don't get it?
Well, that's because I'm on a channel full of people that don't really like me. You could look at the hundreds of people on my channel that are saying, yeah, Craig, you were right by treating this twat the way you did. That's the thing. I'm used to people being against me when they don't. No, yeah, I was nice to you at the start until you constantly interrupted. So I did it to you 10 times worse.
You started with the names, dude. I didn't call you any names. You were calling me stupid.
Well, let me be clear. That's not an insult. It's a statement of fact.
Not an insult?
We're going to jump
No, it's a statement of fact. You are stupid. That's just objective reality.
You tried to say America's not is not a Christian nation.
Well, it's not. It's factual. It's not a Christian nation, and you're stupid if you think it is.
And then you turn around and call me stupid, and everyone in the chat sees it, but I'm wrong, and you're saying let's post shorts like you beat me at this debate? Dude,
well, yeah, no, I 100% beat you in this debate. You made yourself look incredibly stupid. Dude, you made yourself look so dumb. It's incredible. You said so many wrong things about America that I'm surprised you live in that country.
This one, that's right. You're according to Craig, you're the worst American ever. You're worse than any shoe bomber or anyone else in history of America. This one from Miro409 says, South Korea is facing a severe demographic crisis due to its extremely low birth rate, which has been declared a national emergency, in all caps. This is a secular society, Craig.
And they have put in place things that, they aren't going, oh shit, we're not going to do anything about it. They're going, oh, there's a problem. And now we're going to adapt to try and fix the problem.
Oh, there's a problem. Our society doesn't work.
See how you just interrupted me? That was great. Yes. See how you interrupt? Yeah, exactly. That's what you did the whole time. Yeah. So that's what secular countries can do. No, see, I'm still trying to say words, and good boy. That's what secular countries they can. There we go. That's what secular countries can do. Secular countries can look at a problem that is happening and then figure out how to fix it. But because Christianity is so rigid, it can never adapt to what is needed. More people isn't always the best, but when there is a problem, they look at the problem and then say, what can we do to fix it? Which is what is happening at the moment.
Now, did you want to respond? It sounded like you had something to say, Dragon Fist. I want to give you some because you're not going to get a lot of questions because most of them are indeed for Craig. And I think that's a lot because of we happen to have a largely Christian audience tonight.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm enjoying the questions proving all my points that everyone is but
nothing that's proved it.
Yeah, everyone.
It's because it's a Christian audience, you fool. Of course they're going to say this. They're against me.
But I do want to give Andrew a chance.
No, I'm good. You can keep going. This is very vindicating for me that at least people understand.
Sorry, people on your side agreeing with you is vindicating for you. That's not how that works.
You know all their religious affiliations, like you knew all the founding fathers. You know everyone's religious affiliation. Craig knows. He knows before he knows everyone in the chat's a Christian. Every single one.
Yes, the majority of the people in the chat are Christians. Yes, this is a fact.
Forward. This one from Chef Dylan says, "What are Sweden's?
This is so funny.
What
Like
are
the founding
Sweden's...
fathers weren't. That's pretty funny, but I'm not laughing at you. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but I'm not calling you dumb.
All
See,
right,
that's
we
how
must go to the next one. Chef Dylan says, what are Sweden's immigration policies? Were there any changes around 2015, Craig?
In 2015, they did look at importing, bringing in other people to help increase the population, which is another show of how secular countries can look at a problem, see what's happening, and try to increase it. However, the false claim is that they specifically targeted religious communities to bring in. They didn't. They basically opened their doors and said, who would like to come to the country? We will pay for you to come to the country to help us have more babies. Because they realized there was a problem and tried to address it. Exactly like they should, and exactly like Christianity would never allow.
This one coming in from Kevin Berger says, name one immoral act any of secular humanism's 3 manifestos explicitly prohibits, Craig. This isn't an endorsement of anything but an internal critique.
Which manifesto is he referring to?
He
Because
said
there's a whole
any of
bunch
the
them.
3.
Any of the 3. What was the question again?
He said, name one immoral act that any of the 3 manifestos explicitly prohibit.
Taking away people's agency, taking away people's personal what's the word I'm looking for? Taking away consent and not allowing humans to flourish and going against suffering. So it specifically says that making people suffer is wrong. And it specifically says that you shouldn't do things like rape and attack because they are taking away people's consent and people's agency. So it specifically, according to I think it's the second tenet of the American Humanist Manifesto. No, it's the 10th tenet of the Humanist Manifesto, which talks about personal agency and consent. Which means it would specifically not allow immoral acts like rape, which would take away those things.
This one coming in from, do appreciate it. Miru 409 says science and engineering came from the Christian monasteries. For example,
they
the
didn't.
Big Bang Theory comes from a Catholic monk, Lamette. People weren't burned at the stake for saying the earth wasn't flat.
That's right.
Yeah, they were. They were literally, attacked and persecuted for saying things like the earth isn't flat or the earth isn't the center of the universe. And no, they didn't come from Christian places. They just happened to be Christians that developed these things. And the reason for that is because in that time, Christians were the ones that had access to a lot of the education, which meant that they were the ones that could read, which is a good thing at that time. That I'm never going to deny that Christianity did some good things, like, certain people were allowed education. And the people that were allowed education and were allowed to read were the ones that developed sciences. And because they were Christians that could read, they were the ones that developed sciences. But that doesn't mean that it was Christianity that developed it. It just meant that a Christian person developed it. They're very different.
This one coming in from, do appreciate your question. Miro 4, we got that one. Bite Me XD says, as an American, we are definitely the best country in the world, hands down. Life is so good here. There's political problems, of course, but the country is beautiful and it's the best place to live. Craig.
Not according to like every statistic that exists internationally. The safety in America is really low on the ratings. Education is really low on the ratings. Why would I want to live in America where I can bankrupt myself by getting a broken leg? It's objectively not the best country in the world. Now, I'm not saying that the country I live in is perfect in any way, shape, or form. It's not. There's a lot of problems. But America is definitely not the best country in the world.
This one coming in from Texas Storm Chaser 69. It says, I love this debate
Nice.
topic. I would be here regardless, but there's something I must confess. Wherever Craig debates, I'll be there. He is superior at the most important element of all debates. He's the GOAT of crash outs.
Yeah, that's what FTF is. Everyone that watches me and has at least paid attention should be aware of my rule. If the person I'm speaking to doesn't overtalk, doesn't interrupt, doesn't ignore the questions, engages with the topic, I will do the same. But as soon as the other person does the things like interrupt, overtalk, ignore questions, FTFE comes out to play. And that's fun.
This one coming in from, do appreciate your question, Miro. Just saw that fly in. Gavin Free Nunn says, Craig feeling tough after leg day, doing them Kegels and glute bridges with the boys at the gym. He
tell
is
you
a
what,
little sassy minx tonight, ain't he?
Leg day's hard for me because it's literally leg day. Only one of them works. So, I'm doing my hip thrusts with one leg. Wow. It's all like a one leg day. And plus my good leg, I blew my meniscus and my patella a couple of months before coming to New Jersey. So I'm still repairing that as well. So leg day's fucking sore for me. And yes, my glutes are on fire.
You never denied doing Kegels, though. This one coming in from...
Well, I did the abductor and the adductor, so I guess that is Kegels, right? The one that goes in? I don't know.
I don't know if those are quite the same Kegels they had in mind, but this one from Gavin Free Nunn says, Kevin Berger says, Bertrand Russell argued for nuclear strikes, eugenics, and state population control. Jay Huxley argued for eugenics and population management. P. Ehrlich did as well, as did Garrett Hardin. All of these are humanists who justified harm.
No, they were secularists. They weren't humanists.
Wow. Chib says, Christianity has proven Craig's BS plan was created last week.
No, actually, it was created about 45 minutes before this debate because I thought, well, the debate says Christian ethics are the best, and all I have to do is come up with a system that's better, and he loses the debate. And I did come up with a system that was better.
But you came up with the dumbest.
See, I was doing words. I was still doing the words.
I say one thing, I haven't talked at all. That's why.
Yeah, because no one cares to talk to you. You're boring.
Dumb system that's never existed and tried to present.
What was dumb about it? Specifically, what was dumb about it?
Exactly what the comment just said. See, you don't get all these people.
No. You tell me specifically what was dumb about the system I came up with.
Exactly what that comment just said.
No. In your words, specifically what was dumb about it.
A proven system with a track record, with the greatest metrics.
That doesn't answer the question.
You take away from the fact
that doesn't answer the question.
You say it doesn't matter that I'm answering it. Stop talking.
No, you're not.
I'm trying
specifically about my thing. What was dumb?
That it's never been put into practice.
That's not a dumb thing. That's something that can be worked on. That's not dumb. That's your opinion. Specifically about the things I said in my system.
And it proves why you lost, because there is no system actually.
Oh, yeah, I totally lost the debate, bro.
Wait,
I'm totally lost the debate, bro. So humbly, bro.
You're talking over me because you know you lost. There's no
system. I totally lost the debate, bro. You're right. I absolutely lost the debate, bro.
Which makes the debate so stupid that even the people in the comments get it. You had to bring some system that's never existed.
And it's better than Christianity.
There is no better system.
Apart from the one I came up with, which is far better than Christianity.
Right. So there's no better system apart from the one.
Well, apart from the one I come up with, so therefore it's better than Christianity. So Christianity isn't the best.
You lost.
It's real. I came up with it. It's real.
Right, but you just said there's no better system apart from that one other than Christianity.
No, I didn't say that. I just said that one's specifically better. There's many. No, I didn't. I said there's many systems that are better. I just came up with one that is also better.
You already conceded. We can rewind it.
No, I really didn't say that. Maybe you should pay attention. I said that it's better, and I didn't say that Christianity is the only other option. In my intro, I came up with 13 reasons why there are things that are better than Christianity. But because you have such a short attention span, you probably didn't listen to it.
Other than the one I just created.
No, I didn't create the ones in my intro. You should have maybe listened. Yeah, that's the problem. You don't know how to listen.
This one coming in from, do appreciate your question. Capital Science says TV was first publicly demonstrated unsuccessfully in London, but was invented by Farnsworth from Idaho, so in the U.S.,
Incorrect.
and first successfully shown in San Francisco.
100% incorrect. John Logie Bird invented the television. Let me actually get the details.
He's wrong about everything he says.
I've not been wrong about anything, like, you know, the founding of America.
Every single thing. You're wrong about the telephone, what it says about...
Oh, no, I actually explained how it was invented in America.
I just listed three
no,
things
not America. It was
actually incorrect about.
Actually, it was invented in Scotland, patented in America, which is what I said. So let me get to the television, blah, blah, blah. John Logie Bird invented the television in Scotland. The commercial application of it was done in America, but the invention was done in Scotland by John Logie Bird.
Going to America with these Scottish inventions. Why is that?
No, America then did something with his invention. He didn't go to America. People in America took his invention and made it a commercial thing.
I didn't say that was the comment about the TV. I mean, maybe you got this one.
I know. I was just answering your question.
Okay.
I understand you don't get conversations and how they work, but that's fine.
There's no reason for the insult. You said you match energy.
That wasn't an insult. That was a statement of fact.
I'm not insulting you. See, you actually...
I didn't insult you. I made a statement of fact. You don't understand how conversations work, and you're not very clever, and you don't understand America. These are facts.
And you're insulting someone, like, clearly... that has nothing to prove, like, in my masculinity against yours. Nothing.
Dude, I haven't insulted you once. Everything I've said has been a statement of fact. It
makes you look bad, not me.
Look, let me be clear. Calling you stupid is not an insult. It is a statement of fact.
This one coming in from, do appreciate your question. This is coming in from Landon, who says, James, why do you keep having Craig on? He goes on irrelevant tangents, never answers questions, straw man,
I answered the question specifically,
and spews incorrect facts.
Okay, so I answered the question specifically over and over and over, even given examples of how I answered the questions. It's not my fault if you and others, including my opponent, are not intelligent enough to understand my answer. It's not my fault, basically, that the universe is too complicated for you to comprehend. The reason why James has me back on is because I'm an awesome fucking debater and gorgeous and good at the sex.
Wow. This one from Miro409 says, Craig, it's so nice that your wife's boyfriend let you come out to debate tonight on Modern Day Debate, but it's strange. Are you saying Islam isn't worse than Christianity?
No, I'd never said that at all. Islam fucking sucks, but so does Christianity. And if you want to talk about my wife, by the way, we've been married for over 18 years. We spend nearly all day together every single day, and you sound like a virgin.
But technically, they were talking about your wife's boyfriend. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I don't know. My wife definitely doesn't have a boyfriend because she's always with me.
You got... I'm sorry. That joke, we've used it a million times.
I know.
Here.
Pretty funny.
This one from Landon says, Chip says, Craig, you said Christianity, quote, stole ethics from other cultures or religions.
Yep.
Isn't that what you made up last week with your, quote, CARE prescription?
I've just come up with a completely new one that incorporates many different values from lots of other things, which is also something that Christianity did and something that everything else does. Here's the thing, right? There isn't new ideas. You just have to take the best ideas and use them correctly. So I will openly admit that my CARE system takes ideas from many other philosophies. Buddhism, utilitarianism, Christianity, paganism. They're all incorporated, the best aspects of them, into CARE to make it so that this is a system that works best for humanity every single time, no matter what, because it is self-correcting. That is objectively better than anything that Christianity could ever do. Yes, it doesn't currently exist, but that doesn't mean it's not better than Christianity. It is objectively better than Christianity because it will allow for corrections, and it will allow for extra population to grow, and it will allow for human flourishing and automatically making things better based on evidence that is created. No, Christianity isn't the best because Christianity stole what it has from everywhere else and then made it rigid and stupid and homophobic and all the horrific things that the Bible says is okay. The Bible says you can beat your slave as long as he gets up afterwards. I don't want ethics based on that.
That's not Christian ethics. That's
Well,
Judeo.
that's in the Bible.
Yeah, but the Christians don't follow Jewish law.
It's in your Bible. And
matter.
God, your God said it's
Doesn't
okay.
matter.
Let
They
me be
don't follow-
clear.
that's not
Let me be
Christian
clear. Your God said it is okay. Your Christian God said it is okay.
I'm too tired to prove you wrong again, dude.
So your Christian God said it is okay to beat a slave. Just
that's
because that
not
was
what he
before
said.
he made a New Testament doesn't matter. Your Christian God did that thing. Your Christian God killed babies. Your Christian God is an evil, petty psychopath, and ethics based on that would be the dumbest thing ever.
No, can I respond one real quick before we go to the next one? What's dumb is that you don't understand. The question was pointing out the logical inconsistency in the fact that you're saying we stole the ethics. The question is telling you no, but you just did the same thing.
But I did it right. That's the thing. I explained how I did it correctly.
For stealing ethics. Like you have no consistency in what you're saying. The point is that we have a proven track record, and you have
a proven track record of destruction. Yes.
Of growth and civilization.
No. Again, science and engineering made it grow, not Christianity. Stop with that lie.
Have you ever seen a TV show about the Vikings ever? What do they always have with them in that group of Vikings?
Sorry, are you going to TV as your evidence? Are you going to TV as your evidence?
No. Anything about Vikings. What do they always have with them?
Are you going to TV?
One Christian, right? Isn't there always a friar or like a priest always with the group in actual stories?
Are you really going to TV shows about Vikings?
You can. I'm saying any historical thing that you've ever seen or heard about Vikings.
Christians existed. Yes, that's a thing.
Right, and the influence that took them from savagery to society. That's what people are.
No, it wasn't Christians that did that. Vikings did that.
Before that, they were raping and pillaging. Christian influence.
Let's look at the Christians that did the crusade with raping and pillaging.
For some reason.
I'm sorry, but Christians did lots of raping and pillaging, so let's not pretend that's exclusive to Vikings, okay?
Yeah, of course. Everybody rapes and pillage. Every society.
Oh, do they? I don't. No, if you do that, that's all you do. But personally, I think raping and pillaging is wrong. But Christians did it because the Bible said to do it.
The Bible says to rape and pillage?
Well, that's why they went and raped and pillaged across Europe, because the Bible said that that's what they should go and do.
See, again, you take like the interpretation of people, just like with the Constitution, and take that as the fundamental.
Yeah, the thing that's written into law is an interpretation. Cool story, bro.
It's not written into law. That was the whole point. You can't even follow your own logic.
I literally explained the law that it's written into based on a court case at the Supreme Court.
You explained it.
I hate to do this, but we must move on. Miro 409 says,
letter. You said
Craig,
it was.
They say, Craig, adaptation is human trait, not a science trait.
Okay, I agree, but the advent that we have managed to do is based on our science. Yes, humans adapt because evolution, that's how that works, but that is missing the entire point. Christianity held back the advancement of science until science and engineering was actually allowed, and then humanity advanced. It was literally Christianity that held back civilization, and it wasn't until they allowed science and engineering to be a thing that humanity then advanced. I think his question is confusing evolutionary adaptation with societal and civilization adaptation.
This one from Miro 409. Miru says, now it's things like if the earth wasn't flat, goalpost moved.
What?
I think it's supposed to be for you, Craig, but I don't understand it. They said, now it's things like if the earth wasn't flat, goalpost moved. I don't think they're a flat earther though, so I just don't understand what they mean though. I'll ask them. Alex Kirsch Project says, if Christianity is correct, which one? There are 40,000 sects of Christianity.
Plus.
If one is correct, why don't they all align with the one that is most correct? You can't. There is no consistency Andrew.
Me?
Yes,
the other
that's it,
Andrew.
I'm not again for like I tried to explain this to Craig earlier. I'm not making the case for
Craig.
theocracy. I'm making the case that the ethics found in Christianity, ethics like justice, with
Which version of
like
Christianity, though?
charity. No, I'm telling you the ethics that like
Yeah,
charity,
but which
like
version of Christianity?
tolerance.
That's the point.
No, I'm not making a case for the entire theology of Christianity to be law. That's not my case. I'm saying if you take the ethics, the morals and values of love your neighbor, ones that Craig already admitted he took into his own system, that is the best ethical system because it also has
But that's not Christian. That's from before
it's
Christianity.
the Christian ethics. I'm not
Well,
saying
no, that was before Christianity, though. Love your neighbor has been a
doesn't
thing way
matter. If you
before
put them
Christianity.
together into the system called Christian ethics, I can still use that as the system.
Yeah, but which Christian
And I'm saying
ethics?
this
Which
system-
Christianity specifically is your ethics based on?
No, the ethics of Christiantianity. It doesn't
Which
matter.
Christianity?
I'm trying to explain to you which ethics I'm talking about specifically that are in all of them. That's what I'm saying. You don't have
I'm
to
sorry, but they disagree on ethics.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but you're not hearing what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the
I am.
I'm not talking about having a theocracy. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm not talking
Not a
about theocracy
theocracy where
either.
you have
I am
to-
saying which version of Christianity is your ethics based on, because every sect of Christianity has vastly different ethics. So
Right, mine is
which
based on
Christianity is
universal
your ethics?
of Christianity? Those being charity,
that can't
mercy.
be the
These
same
are
because-
not. These are in
Dude,
every version of Christianity. Yes, the golden rule.
But the
is every
sects
version of
disagree on
Christianity.
fundamental things about
Right, but
ethics.
I'm not advocating for a theocracy. That's my point.
I'm not
I just
saying that
think
you
should
are.
take the morals and ethics.
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Yeah, I don't think that all of Christian dogma should be.
No,
law.
I genuinely think that the word theocracy doesn't mean what you think it means.
Yeah, I'm saying that Christianity shouldn't be the law of the land.
We should go to the next question.
Correct?
Though.
Or-
What you just said was one of the dumbest things I have ever
Okay,
heard.
so
Not once, and your
a
rambling,
religious
incoherent
theocracy
response
is
with you,
what?
anything close
A
to
religious
anything resembling a
theocracy is
rational
what? You're
thought.
calling me dumb again. What is it?
I don't think you know what the word means. You're the one
What?
using it, so
You're
define it
calling
if
me
you can.
stupid. You're telling me I don't know what the word means and offering no
Yeah, so
information.
define it then.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a government run based on by the religious dogma.
Well, I'm not talking about that.
Me neither. That's my point. So you keep bringing up which Christianity am I going to use? It doesn't fucking matter.
Yes, it matters because
Christianity should be the law of the land. Don't
Christianity,
you get that?
like the different sects of Christianity, has vastly differing opinions on many different ethics. So you don't
must move to the
have
next
one
For
system
example,
of
what are the
ethics.
vastly different ethics of different Christian sects? What are the vastly different ethics?
Some of them
They
literally
have
disagree on like
they
abortion,
have-
on homosexuality. Like some think that they found gold plates in America. Some think that books that the rest of Christianity don't have as part of their thing say different things. So many different
I'm not
sects of Christianity
advocating
have
for any of those.
vastly different ethics. You can't
must
say Christian
wrap.
ethics
It
if you don't
no
define
Christ-
which
wouldn't be
Christianity.
Christianity if it had vastly different ethics. It doesn't have.
But they do.
They may have one book specifically that.
No, I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
But their ethics are not vastly different. That's
No, I'm sorry, you are absolutely incorrect. Between over the 40,000 plus sects of Christianity, there is a vast wide range of different ethics.
Yeah, there's Christians that don't believe in the golden rule. That's a form of Christianity. That don't believe in charity. You know
Exactly, different ethics.
Right,
So
I'm saying
which
there's no
version are you
Christian
taking your
sect that
ethics
doesn't
from?
have these ethics. That's what I'm talking about. The main ethics of Christianity. Show me a Christian
The main
sect.
ethics of which Christianity?
All of them.
But they
This
disagree on the
is
main ethics.
A great opportunity to go to the next question. I hate to do it. It's just that we have this one is that we are past almost actually we are past the time that I promised you guys. We have one more though. I do want to Rocinanti said Dragon Fist. Do you
Hey, Rossi,
include
I need weed.
the Crusades, Inquisitions, and Salem witch trials in Christianity's proven track record, quote unquote?
Again, no, I don't, because I'm not talking about every single thing that a Christian ever did. I'm not making that claim that every single thing ever done by a Christian was good. I'm saying that if you take the specific ethical foundation that I'm trying to explain to Craig, of charity, of love your neighbor, of justice with mercy, of taking care of the poor, the fundamental Christian ethics that Craig seems to have no understanding of, no understanding.
I
Are
do.
fundamental to
Right,
Christianity.
define
No
the
Christian
fundamental
sects.
ethics.
I
Define
just
every
did.
single
I
fundamental
just
one.
listed them. I just
Right,
listed them.
all of
And if
which
you
ones
take all, I
specifically?
guarantee you, all of these ethics are in your
Yeah,
stupid
yeah.
ethics.
Just for me,
Yeah,
1 sec. Just for me, tell me the fundamental list of ethics.
charity.
Not all Christians agree on charity.
So there's a Christian, there's a sect of Christianity that where charity is not one of their main ethics. Is that what you're saying? Can you point to
Absolutely,
it?
yeah.
Evidence? What sect would that be?
Not that they disagree on what
You're
charity
making a claim
is.
without evidence?
Wait, let me finish what I'm saying. No, you missed my point. They disagree on what charity is.
Okay, I didn't
Like,
say that the interpretation wouldn't be different.
yeah, so they radically
Make that
disagree
claim.
on what charity is. Some sects of Christianity only
I
specifically
didn't
do
say you have
charity
to
for
take
other.
the
I'm
Christian's
talking right now.
interpretation
Some sects of Christianity will
from
only
it.
do charity for other Christians and literally ignore others. And that is a radically different ethical approach than doing charity for everybody. Radically different. Some sects of Christianity say that homosexuality is fine, where others say it is a sin. Those are vastly different.
No sect of Christianity says that homosexuality is fine. It's incorrect.
I disagree 100%.
Christianity itself. That's not a Christian sect. That's a sect
Oh, no. You are saying it's not a Christian sect, but they say they're
Oh,
Christians.
2,000 years of church tradition says it's not a Christian sect.
But they disagree. They say they're
That's
Christians.
what I'm
You
saying,
don't get
that
to
there are
that is a no true
fundamental
Scotsman
Christian
fallacy.
ethics. You're just not
That is
getting it.
a
And
no
I
true
bet
Scotsman
you
fallacy.
stole all of them for your make-believe ethical system that you think isn't good.
That's not what. Yeah, I don't think I understand what no true Scotsman fallacy is. Oh my goodness.
This one coming in from, thank you very much, Marilyn, for your final super chat. Appreciate that. Sugar Mama, we're going to go to, I think that's the last one. I do appreciate, folks, I want to say, our guests are linked in the description. They are hyperlinked even in the title. So you just have to click right on their little name and you're there at their channel. The reason that's good is because even if you disagree with them and you're like, man, I just like, oh, just Craigie has such a punchable face. Is that
right there?
Even if you disagree, there's value in going to Craig and Andrew's channels because you can hear their arguments straight from them rather than someone paraphrasing where, a lot of times it's like, is it that accurate of a paraphrase? You go right to their channel and know for sure that you're hearing from the other side. So I do want to say thank you very much, Craig. Thank you very much, Andrew. You guys, it's been a true pleasure. This was an epic debate. I have to be honest, I was a little bit nervous at the start. I was like, because we don't usually have a first timer do a one-on-one. I hadn't even realized. I was like, wait a minute, how did this happen? Is that we usually make a first timer do a 2 versus 2. And so I don't know how this happened in the booking, but nonetheless, it was a great debate. So, Andrew,
you should do it again. I didn't mean that.
It was a tremendous debate. I'm just very excited. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to let you guys go, but folks, I'm going to be back in just a moment to let you know, if you didn't know, DebateCon 6, Nashville. If you're like, I don't know, I'm kind of far from Nashville. I already told you. Right now, it could be $45 to fly to Nashville from, for example, Chicago, and then $45 to fly back. Just use a backpack, fly a Spirit or Frontier like I do. No joke. I people think I'm joking. I do. Is that weird? And, you get to see all the scantily clad people that you don't want to see in a scantily clad outfit, but, you have to because it's Frontier or Spirit.
He has to fly Spirit. He's spent all his money getting me first class on BA, right? The business class, wasn't it? Yeah.
Craig wishes. I'm afraid that Craig is going to be riding with the chickens in the belly of the plane. But
I thought you said I was strapped to the wing.
That's right. That's basically how it's going to be. It's like buckle up. But, folks, it's going to be amazing. You can see at the bottom right of your screen, it's going to have Daniel Hakikachu, which, by the way, I'm like, Craig, that would be a good opponent for you at some point, is the Muslim Daniel Hakikachu. Richard Carrier. Go ahead.
I am working on my arguments against Islam stuff. So if you've got a particular topic, let me know in advance so I can do a bit of research.
Wow.
But absolutely up for that, up for any debates. And if you guys like modern day debate, and you should, because it's an awesome channel and James puts a lot of effort into it. Supporting modern day debates by going to DebateCon is one of the best ways you can do it. But more importantly, you can see me there and throw tomatoes and eggs at me in person, right? I mean, where else do you get to do that apart from DebateCon 6?
That's true. Bring your tomato. You could bring them in little sandwich baggies so they don't leak in your pocket. And bring your tomatoes for Craig. And thank you very much for your super chat. Chef Dylan says, I took a shot every time Craig yelled or interrupted.
He must be dead.
They must be in bad shape right now. But I do have to say, we do appreciate our guests. Is that I'm going to let them go, and I'll be back to tell you folks more about DebateCon. Andrew Wilson, of course, will be there. You can see him at the bottom right of the screen. That's linked in the description box, but I'll be back in just a moment. I got to let these guys out of here as it is later than we promised for the agreed upon time. So I'll be back in just a moment. Stick around, folks. I'll be back in about 17 seconds. And my dear friends, don't worry, I'm coming back. Let me just boot up the old Zoom. I want to say first, thank you so much for your support. That was an epic debate. Wow, thank you guys for your super chat support. We do appreciate that. Oh yes, we have there are all sorts of like quick, exciting things to announce. So this conference, DebateCon, if you have on Mars, your fingers and your ears. Let me just pull up my little share screen here. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, is that it is going to be so good. And here's why. If you're wondering, like, well, wait a minute, like, I don't know, James, is it? I'm going to go through the card right now. And well, you know what I can do is I can actually show you guys. So I'm going to log into Event Noir. So this is basically, it's linked in the description box. And you can see this same schedule that I'm about to look at right now, because you're maybe thinking like, oh, I don't know, like who's going to be there? For real, consider it. I know it seems far off, but it's going to be here before you know it. It's on November 15th and 16th. Is 2 seconds. Let me fix that. Is that I'm going to quick click on that link here. Is that you might be thinking, James, I don't know about this. It's in Nashville. That's far away. Like I said, right now, from a lot of cities in the U.S., you can fly for less than $100 from Los Angeles or Chicago, all sorts of, like New York City. Just take a backpack. It's only a couple days. Like, pack, a few underwear in your little backpack, your little Hello Kitty backpacks, and a few t-shirts and piece of cake, for real. That's no joke. That's how I always fly. I'm very serious that 99% of the time, unless I have to use equipment, unless I have to carry equipment for DebateCon or something like that, I actually fly Frontier and Spirit all the time, because you don't need anything more than a backpack. I'm not exaggerating. I've literally flown around the world for a month, where I stopped in, like, I can't remember, this is like 7 years ago, but, and it was for a month and just using my backpack. And I would just, I had like 7 pairs of underwear, and then I had, some t-shirts. In that case, every time at the hotel, every once in a while, I'd have to like wash my clothes in the shower. Just, I'd soap them up and, piece of cake, let them dry in there, and then just off to the races. I'd just keep going. So I've got to tell you, I do love to work out. I can see all the gays in the audience are asking. So thank you guys for asking. She's like, for me to show my arms. We appreciate you. We appreciate the gays. We appreciate the straights. We appreciate the atheists. We appreciate the Christians. It's funny, you can never put the word, a definite article of the, in front of a people group or people just freak out. We love the Jays. You know who that is? I can't even say that one. We love everybody. We love the non-Jays, or what are they called? We love the Goys. We love the Gentiles. We love all of them. We love everybody here. And I've got to go through this schedule, though, because you're wondering. You're like, oh, I'm dying to hear, James. Tell me. I'm like burning with, I have a deep burning in my loins. I want to see this. Is Marilyn, my sugar mama, thank you for your super chat support, your grace. I appreciate your, she is one, I mean, we still don't know. I think that the funny thing is I see Marilyn, she gets a lot of attention, in the live chat, and that's what you'd expect, right? Because she looks like, she looks like what some would call a babe. The thing is, we don't know if Marilyn is a babe, because Marilyn might actually be Melvin. We could be catfished by Marilyn. You don't really know for sure. Is that, like I said, look out, be careful there. And now I want you to see this. You can see on screen right now, 10 a.m. We just had this debate get booked. There's a VIP back room debate with Andrew Wilson versus 5 challengers. That's the first day. And then also Jake of Rattlesnake TV versus Planet Peterson. That's going to be another epic one. We're very excited about that one. And this year is going to be different. I got to tell you, we're going to have a different thing for how we do DebateCon. Is that you might be wondering, well, what do you mean, James? Here's how. The debates will not all be live streamed. This is different. We usually do live stream everything. And the debates will be free for the public. We're not going to permanently paywall them. But what we are going to do is we're going to say, hey, if you want to watch a conference, there is going to be a certain amount, like $45 or something. I've still got to figure out what the amount is, where it would be like, hey, if you want to watch a conference all live, you can. Here's how you do it. Now, at the same time, if you're like, well, I don't want to, I'm not going to pay to watch them live, I'll just wait until they come out. That's fine. The reason we're actually doing it, where we put the live streams behind a paywall, is actually because if we release them all at once, I'm quite convinced that people will watch 1 or 2 in the first day, and then they're like, I know there are like 8 other debates that I can watch, but I'm kind of like all debated out. Like I've watched enough debates. And then they just kind of put it off and they like forget about it. So we actually think the debates will get more views, more engagement, more time spent watching them if we upload. We're going to have one live streamed. That's it. And then the other debates will be free for the public. It's just that they're going to be released after that first live stream, which is free for the public, and it'll just remain there. After that, we are going to release the others slowly but surely, approximately every 3 or 4 days, roughly. So that's pretty cool. We think that people will be like, oh, cool, it's been a few days since I've watched a debate, and that they'll probably watch it. So in terms of the schedule here, you can see the VIP attendee backroom debate. We talked about that. There's also going to be 12:45 a break, or if you do the ultra VIP ticket, there's a social, and you can get lunch there on site. It's going to be a beautiful, delicious catered meal. Highly encourage you to check that out. And you might be thinking like, hey, during these breaks, like, James, why do you have breaks? Because even if you're not at the lunch social, you're like, well, is that we found that people actually love these conferences, not just for the debates. They definitely enjoy the debates, but also, Dave Hill said, won't a debater release the debate first? No, we're going to basically tell them, like, we're going to hold on to it, and we're going to negotiate that with the debaters. We're going to tell them, like, hey, we're going to release it on this date, and some of them will give the rights to release it, And some of them will probably say, hey, actually, we want to keep this one exclusive to Modern Day Debate. We'll negotiate that before the conference. But the thing is, people are like, why are there so many breaks during this conference? They're like longer than usual. Is that we've found that people not only love the debates, but they love the time to socialize. They meet and spend time with people that are like themselves. They love these debates. And so that's why there are more breaks built in this time than Rachel Wilson versus Craig, who you saw tonight. The topic is still being decided. It should be within a few days. We'll probably have an answer on that. Then a break for dinner, and then Andrew Wilson versus Daniel Hakikachu. That is going to be huge. Now, if you have questions about Modern Day Debate, I am always at moderndaydebate@gmail.com. So I'm going to put my little email here, moderndaydebate@gmail.com. That is in the live chat. So I highly encourage you, just ask, shoot a question, and I'm happy to answer. And not only that, but the second day, Sunday. So let me see what you can see on OBS. Is that on Sunday, I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. There will be the VIP attendee backroom debate with Inspiring Philosophy versus 5 skeptics. Very exciting. So I imagine Craig will probably have a cameo in there. And then, not only that, Jeff is here in the live chat. Now, Jeff, you sick freak, I sent you a text to ask about how we'd get your flight booked. And, you're too cool for school. So, on Saturday night, you're probably out at the club. And you didn't get back to me, but whatever, Jeff, is that Jeff is going to be there. So Jeff, who's in live chat right now, he's a feisty guy. He's going to be there, and he's our streaming guy. So he's going to be managing the stream. So if you actually do happen to watch the streams as live streams, the cool thing about that is Jeff is the one that's actually making those happen. So now, second debate of the day will be Robert Spencer versus Daniel Hakikachu. Then there will be a break as usual, and then there's going to be Apostate Prophet versus Dr. Javad Hashmi, who got his PhD. I think he got an MD and PhD at Harvard, if I remember right. That's going to be a juicy one. This page isn't updated. Did I not? Oh, I've got to save it. Hold on. Oh, no, I didn't save the changes, apparently. Is that I actually could have sworn. I'm going to type this in right now. Is that these, I'm going to put in really quick. I'm going to put in boomer moment. Give me a sec. But I've got to tell you, for DebateCon, you might be thinking like, well, how many people will be there? I've got to tell you, I'm not exaggerating. I wouldn't say this if it was like dishonest. We right now have a record amount of people that have signed up for DebateCon. Those conferences, people are starting to really pay attention to. That's all credit to the speakers, not me. That's because the speakers are fantastic. People see those debates and are like, wow, that was fun. That was an epic time. Nobody's doing what Modern Day Debate is doing with these conferences. There are cool debates that you see by other organizations. So, for example, Minds, although I don't know if they do them anymore. I'm trying to think. Did Minds do one this spring? We're friends with Sean over at Minds. He's a cool guy. He lives up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I got to have lunch with him when I was visiting family up in Wisconsin. I'm from Wisconsin. Did you guys know that? I grew up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and so Sean lives down in Milwaukee, and one time while I was there, I was like, hey, I'll swing by. That was back in 2022. But yeah, so Sean Frasick does a great job with Minds, and there are others that do it. Theirs is close. Theirs is close to a conference, although I don't know if they did it this last year. I should know this. Minds 2025. Sean may have just he's got a lot on his plate, so let me look this up. I'm kind of curious. I'm like, hey, did I not? This spring kind of flew by, so I don't even know if they did. But I will say this. We do Minds. Oh, they did. They had a Minds conference. I'm embarrassed. I didn't know that. Let's see here. I don't know if they... Oh, this is it's not it's not what the conference I was expecting. I don't know if they did, but the point is this. Modern Day Debate, DebateCon, it's as popular as it's ever been. Right now, like I said, we have 36 tickets, which is like fantastic. That was probably like, so because the reason it's fantastic is that literally we're 3 days away and we've already got 36 tickets. Now it's going to slow down, right? Because we've got some that we had that huge like pressure building where people are like, oh, release the tickets, like, oh, and then the tickets released and they're like, oh, they exploded with enthusiasm and buying tickets, and now it's going to go slower. It'll be like a ticket a day or something for quite a while, and then the last like 2 weeks it'll pick up, and then especially the last week it'll definitely pick up a lot more. But I'm not joking. The last conference we topped out one of the days we had 200 people. Is that we're expecting, I'm not joking, I think we're going to have 300 people in attendance this conference, which is amazing. And I actually think it's possible. I don't know for sure. It's like there's no guarantee, but I think we may even get up to like 350. So this is going to be much bigger than any conference we've ever had before. Now, you guys, let me go back to this schedule because you got to know about this. Is consider coming out because you only live once. In my experience, that Minds conference that I mentioned, Jeff said that he doesn't think they did it. Is that it was awesome. And so I've got to tell you, she said Sean now works alongside the Tim Pool crew. Wow, Frasick is a busy man. He's getting out there. Good for him. Is basically with Modern Day Debate. I'm excited for Sean. I went out to Minds and I met Jeff and I met Sean and other people that if I had not gone, I would never have met them. They're new friends. They're like new people that I enjoy staying in contact with and like joking and teasing with, and we have a good time. That's awesome. It's a fun time. You only live once is what I'm saying. And so I'd highly encourage you, hey, come on out. Like you don't want to miss it. This especially because you guys look at this. You're kind of like, oh, I don't know, James, like basically apostate prophet versus Javad, and then the final debate is going to be Andrew Wilson versus Dr. Richard Carrier. So that's going to be huge. I got to tell you, folks, it's going to be epic. If you have any questions, I'm at moderndaydebate@gmail.com, and I hope to hear from you. It's going to be amazing. Jeff says, yes, going and seeing people IRL is fantastic. Is that, folks, even if you get the most basic ticket, because maybe you're like, well, the most basic ticket last year, I think it was about $210 for the basic ticket. Right now it's $225 at the early bird. And you might be like, James, like a $15 increase. What the hell? The reason is we plan on making this a much better conference. And part of that is that some of the people that normally would have been ticket buyers are actually going to say, hey, if you volunteer, we'll give you a discount on your ticket. Or if they do like something really big, then we may even just say, hey, it's just a free ticket. One example would be the check-in last year was like very slow. It was bad. So we're going to work on finding people that we can, like, you could say indirectly pay by having their ticket will be reduced or even free if they help us out. So when we do that, it's like, well, we may be basically, in addition to other things that we're trying to upgrade, such as like the cameras this time, is that we're going to have a lot more cameras. That's why we do have that small increase. But again, at $225, folks, like that's basically $1.12. What is it? $112 a day. I mean, this is like still very affordable. Whereas like, hey, come on out, have fun. You only live once. So we do try to, and I'm very mindful I always try to keep it. What's the word I'm looking for? I always try to keep it affordable for people because we're like, well, it's true that you can watch the debates afterward. Like they'll be free on YouTube eventually. We might do some editing before we release them. But one thing is we also, I'm a little bit tired. I'm starting to realize that. We also want people to be able to come out to these events. Like we want the more the merrier. So thank you guys for your support. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you get some sleep. We're excited about the future. Keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable. My dear friends, Modern Day Debate at 227,000. We're very excited. But in the big picture, for where I see Modern Day Debate going, this being below 250,000 is still, we're still babies in the YouTube world. We're going places. We are doing big things. The future is bright. Folks, we believe YouTube deserves a better class of debate channel, and we're going to give it to them. That's Modern Day Debate. We are expanding our horizons with new things each year. So thank you guys for your support. We're excited about the future. Keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable. And that's right, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, my dear friends, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for your hanging out in the live chat. You guys make it a lot of fun. So I will see you at the next one. There is a debate tomorrow. I haven't gotten the event page up. I've got to remember the topic. It's just, this one got set up really quick. But Ryan will be hosting that one. Thanks, David M., for your kind words. Says, James, I love you, bro. I love you too. But yeah, I want to say hello to people in chat. Mill, 999999. Thank you for your kind words. David M., good to see you. Thanks for being here. DK, thanks for coming by. As well as Ducks Y, thanks for being here. Jeff, always happy to have you. L, am I saying it right? Glad to have you here. Adam Price, glad that you are with us. And Marilyn, Sugar Mama, Marilyn, thank you for being here. As well as Taylor D, glad that you are with us. Sugar Mama Melvin is Dave Hill, thanks for being here. Eureka, thank you for being with us. Now, yeah, I've got to total up. How many debates will there be? I've got to count it up. But yeah, it's going to be, I'm really excited. We're starting to like really like fine tune and like realize like, oh, we could do it better if we do this. The learning curve, like we're still going to get better. The learning curve is steep. We're learning a lot fast. Like the conference is improving significantly each time. You saw the last time. I think that was the biggest jump. I was like, wow, this is like, I'm very excited about it. I said I was going to go. This is time I'm for real. I'm say this is the real goodbye. So yes, I want to say thank you for your support. Seek Jesus 27. Thank you for coming by. Seriously, appreciate you being here. And Marilyn, thanks for your sweet words, as well as Jay. Thank you for being here. Says, think Macho Man needs to jog outside. I definitely have to move my legs around because I'm pretty stiff. But yes, we do appreciate you guys. I wish I could stay. I wish I could stay here longer because I just enjoy this. I seriously am in a great mood. And I might as well plug other things. If you didn't know, I am going to quick share these. Our Facebook page, Modern Day Debate's Facebook page. I'm super encouraged. Thank you guys for supporting it. Thank you guys for following it. I'm going to link it in the description in just a moment. It's been growing fast. So we've actually like... Let me put this here. Yep, there we go. Is maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. It was at like 2,000. I didn't really pay much attention to it. Then I started getting consistent and posting content there. And it went from like 2,000 or 3,000 to now it's at 9,000. So soon enough, it'll break 10,000. That's a great place if you are wondering like where you can find updates on when MDD will be in your town next. Follow our Facebook page here. Put that in the live chat right now. And I highly encourage you, reach out. And, I'm tempted to put my Snapchat in the chat, the live chat. But I'm just afraid that I will get so many pictures that I didn't want. Is that what sorts of like strange and unusual and unwanted things I would get? I just am frightened about the possibility. Is that Caleb Perez, thank you for being here. I got to tell you a funny story though. Do you remember, what was it called where there was the game? It was a website. It wasn't a game. It was like a social thing where it was like like some sort of chat roulette. You would go on this website. It would be like Zoom, except you're randomly connected to people. So you could just like click a button and it would like just be like, and then all of a sudden like you're connected with a stranger who's also like doing the same thing. They're just like waiting to be connected with a stranger. And My friend, what was his name? He was an awesome guy. Taylor. He was on there, and now the thing is, everybody ruined the chat roulette. I think that was what it's called. You guys remember? It was like these perverts would go on there and they would zoom the camera in on their private parts, and they happened to like be naked while they were like zooming the camera in on their private parts, and they would be doing things to themselves. They would be self-servicing. So when my friend Taylor, when he was like, oh yeah, he's like, I'm going to check this like chat roulette thing out. Like, this is like kind of interesting. So he went on there and he pushed the button, and like, it was like, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, he's like, oh, because it was, a man touching himself. And so Taylor was just like, oh, like, so he clicked away immediately, and he like did the like other, he pushed the button to be connected to someone new because he didn't want to stay there with this nasty guy. I know. Willie Yo, thanks for coming by. And Mill999 says, what the Hef? I know. I definitely appreciate, I definitely agree with you. Is that Marilyn's distracting me? Is that, I mean Melvin. But the point is, he clicks it to go to the next chat. And so the roulette starts, it's like, and then all of a sudden, it's like a new person. So it's a new person, but they're doing the same thing where they're, naked and touching them. The guy is self-servicing himself. And so Taylor's like, no, like again, like, so, and then he's like, what the, like, just thinking, like, I've got the worst luck. So he clicks the button again to be reconnected to somebody else on the roulette, and so it's like, and then sure enough, the third person, no joke, I wasn't there, but he told me, he's like, I swear, the third person was another man, is that he's like, oh, no, and so he's like, that's it, and so he's like, that's it, I'm done, and it was 3 in a row, and he told me, he's like, yeah, after that 3 in a row business, like, I'll never go back on that website. How do we get on that? I think it was because we were talking about Melvin doing that or something. I don't know. Was that it? But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Stay up. Let me think. I think it's chat roulette. Let me think. Chat roulette. Chat roulette. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So if you guys want to go on there, that's probably what you're going to find is a lot of that. Just run, don't go on there. Don't do it. It's not worth it. But yeah, thank you guys. I love you guys. You guys are fun. And we are excited about the future. Keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable. And we'll see you at DebateCon this fall. Saturday, November 15th and Sunday, November 16th. You don't want to miss it. Thanks, everybody.